Alright. I love internet. I love being in a first world country. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like. I mean, it literally is a first world problem. Where, oh no, my internet stopped working for 1 second. I'm so mad. I shall shake my fist at the sky. So we're back. Great. So leftovers, in addition, to buy even more time for Garrosh to make this rotation, is they held the wave in front of the wall and tanked it for a few seconds, so there was no way for Hero's Hearth to do damage to the wall. And now they might even get a punish here. Okay, good Rhaegar Totem. Is that an upgraded Rhaegar Totem? No, it just slows that much. I mean, it's a nice slow, but it doesn't compare to a Malfurion Root and stuff like that. Alright, hold on. What are you doing, game? I'm gonna just refresh quickly. 247.07. Okay. Okay. Back to 720p. Good. So far, they haven't gotten much value, so now what Hero's Hearth wants to do, fast clear this wave, go Knights. Right away. Could even say that they're a bit late going to Knights here. They could have left just a Nubrak here to clear the wave out. It looks like Greymane... Okay, with the tongue missing, I think Greymane lives. Maybe not, though. Okay, so this is just... I really think that all that Hero's Hearth had to do here is Greymane throws a Q at this, and Rhaegar puts his W on the Nubrak or a minion, and then they go to the Knights right away, because they have no vision on the Watchtower. Whoops. What the hell? Source code. I don't need you. Why Ishbu didn't help him? He can't burrow onto the Garrosh. Oh, he just completely bails. Well, that's a bit insane, because right here, he burrows at the same time as the Tongue Missing. The thing he's scared of is if Garrosh throws him and then Qs him, because Garrosh can combo throw into Q, then Dahaka tongues off of that, and then off of that tongue, Deckard hits a combo, and during that time he dies. So he had to burrow out there. The problem is just that the Greymane was too far forward and not in melee form, so he didn't have any mobility. And at this point right here, Greymane should just go in melee right now. I mean, Anubrak could have probably, right here, he could have Q'd the Garrosh before he burrows out, and that would have helped Greymane a lot. But what Greymane should have done here is he should just go in melee, especially seeing the Dahaka tongue miss. He should just go in melee, because that's his best chance to live. Because if he never goes into melee, they can just walk at him, and he can never escape. So going into melee at least forces them to kill him within 5 seconds, otherwise he won't die. And this actually completely screws up Hero's Hearth's early game plan. They can't do this night camp now, so they're not going to have 2 camps out at the same time, which means that they're just not going to have any early game advantage, and this even gives leftovers the time to do their night camp, probably. Everything's screwed. The only thing they got out of it is they get some bottom lane push, because Li Ming didn't feel safe soloing this siege camp, which is understandable. So now they're finally getting the night camp out. Maybe the idea isn't to rush the night camp at 1 minute, but to have it out during the temple phase, just because leftovers can't do the night camp. I think if leftovers had a Maiev, or some other hero that could do the night camp really quickly, and could get out their night, and then it would allow leftovers to get out their night camp to defend this night camp, then Hero's Hearth would have to do their night camp at 1 minute. But because leftovers can't at all, then there's no threat of leftovers having a defensive night camp here in front of the wall. Though this timing is also before the temple spawns, so I feel like it would have just been better to have a siege camp bottom at the same time as a night camp top. Uptime is, I think, like an hour. The stream went down for a second, so... But yeah, as you can see, leftovers can't do anything to a night camp, so there goes your wall. But now Leftovers is playing for top temple, because if Hero's Hearth got the full top temple, this fort would be dead, for sure. Because the wall is almost entirely dead now. But because Leftovers is standing on it, they have the global advantage, and they have the Garrosh, and just a better overall team fight. Because all of Hero's Hearth's heroes are kind of meh in an early team fight. Then they get to... basically, Leftovers gets to choose which temple they get, so they choose to take top temple, and then trade. Which means that Hero's Hearth will not be ahead in experience at all. Whereas if they got the fort, especially with the fort having significantly more experience when they moved the turret experience to the fort, it would be a big deal. Because a fort is about half a level. It's a really big spike of experience. But this is nice by Hero's Hearth instead, because Leftovers is running a 3-1-1. They have to have Deckard up here in order to heal Garrosh on the point, because you can't just let your Garrosh go to 1/3 HP and get solo killed by Zeratul. And then they have to have someone up here to clear the wave, because Deckard can't. So with Genji here by himself, you can see that Leftovers 2-man, outside of the Garrosh who's on the point, doesn't get any push value, whereas the Greymane and the Anub'arak gets a lot of push value. I'm not sure if Leftovers could have brought someone down here sooner, because as soon as you see, maybe it's just too late, because Hero's Hearth isn't really doing anything until at least the wall is down, and they have a wave pushing up. So they go in with a minion wave, and because Greymane and Anub'arak were in fog the entire time, Leftovers had to keep their 3-man here, otherwise they would risk getting engaged on, so that's a good rotation by Hero's Hearth. They even took control of the Watchtower. So Leftovers has no information, they have to play passively and conservatively, and that gives Hero's Hearth the freedom to take this advantage. But then Anub'arak wastes his burrow here, and he might get punished for this. Because there comes the Hawker from bottom lane. And there's a pause. Alright, what do the casters say? Because that's... I mean, that could have been Ishbu having a keyboard problem or something that made him unburrow early. Yeah, that's... yeah. First pause, someone got DC'd? Okay. Oh. So, sure. Are they gonna force a remake? Because something bugged out? I'm checking Hero's Hearth's Twitter quickly. I want to see if they tweet about this or something. I'll check Reddit too. Because I actually want to know what those pauses were about, if that was something related to the... Because that Anub'arak bro especially just was really weird. Ish had headphone issues, and then PC issues, and then more PC issues. Okay. Okay. So no, Heroes Hearth just got punished for overextending on the fort for too long. Alright. Here comes Heroes Hearth, showing up and doing some siege damage. They do see... because... surprised that they're playing so passively here. Because they saw Garrosh mid, and he just left. And they see 2 heroes bottom. So the only hero that could show up is Genji. I guess they still don't feel safe in that 2v2, so they're waiting for a noob still. And now they see Garrosh on I, so they're going to have to back off after this wave. Deckard's actually not seen in this rotation too. Here comes Garrosh around on the same flank. You gonna burrow a noob? Did the Hawkatong already go down? Okay, so the Hawkatong's already down. That's why they don't even try to throw him. Alright, so they force out Cleanse. But meanwhile, Li Ming is overextended and is dead. Why is Li Ming overextended? She's getting greedy for siege damage on the wall? Wait, Li Ming is... this is ridiculous. I mean, you can say, I expect Zeratul to collapse on this fight top, maybe, but you're not getting any value down here anyway. Like, look, she's walking up to throw stuff at the wall, and Malthael goes on her. I think even if Zeratul wasn't down here, Malthael might have solo killed her. I think she might have just been dead to Malthael, 1v1, with the way that positioning looked. Go back one more time. Oh no, Malthael's not on her, but that seems pretty insane. Leftovers does get out their knights, which is one advantage they have because Heroes Hearth Knight cap was so late. If Heroes Hearth had gotten their Knight camp out at 1 minute, it would have respawned by now and they would have had the potential to take it now. So they're actually just chasing the fort with their Anubrak. And this is not quite an even trade for the temple, but pretty close. And if they keep pushing, then that's a pretty good trade for them. And they are going to keep pushing. And Leftovers is just not reacting to this, which is really strange. The Haka should already be back here, defending this. There's no reason... Did the Haka, like, walk all the way over here? Because the Haka was top. Did he get forced to burrow out? Is that what happened? When Malthael goes on him here, he has to burrow out. So now you're here, but then go back top and sit behind your wall. Maybe bring Genji over too if you don't feel safe there by yourself, but this is a terrible trade, because your building damage here consists of a Li Ming, because your Dahak is half attack speed from the fort. So you're doing 100 DPS, and they're sitting here doing 500 plus DPS. HHE had 10 first, they could clear the shrine or get... No. Leftovers is 10 off of this minion wave here, and like these minions here, it gives them 10. There's no way that they could do that. I mean, the big thing, if Heroes Hearth's team fight was better, then they could have done that, but their team fight is worse, and they can trade really easily as well, so they don't even need to force a team fight and force a 50-50. So, rather than go down here, have a team fight, that if they win the team fight, their temple trades for this Knight camp, killing this fort, and if they lose it, then they lose the temple, they lose this top fort, they're down both forts, and maybe even a boss. So that's pretty bad, compared to just taking this trade, and going even guaranteed, and getting to clear out the Knight camp disadvantage that you had. The teams are pretty much even on experience. Are they actually... they're breaking the small wall to pressure keep. Alright, finally Leftovers is starting to back. That was some really high value Dahaka face tanking a fort and Li Ming throwing some Qs at it. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth losing 2 keep towers for it. I do like that Hero's Hearth didn't chase after the kill on Dahaka, because they could have maybe gotten to him. If the Anubrak burrowed into range to cocoon him to stop the dig, they could have maybe killed him, but that would have wasted a ton of time. Would have meant that they wouldn't even get this fort. And again, both teams have to play really safe in their rotations, so nobody is face checking bushes unless they're there with at least a 4-man. And Leftovers is actually calling to start the boss because they haven't seen Hero's Hearth anywhere. And that's decent. Let's see. Because they see 3 heroes mid, actually. But they see these heroes run up here. Okay, Hero's Hearth actually makes this rotation really obvious, and they could have done this better. Because here, Leftovers sees 3 heroes mid. The only heroes they don't see is Malthael and Zeratul. Yeah, this is just... There was no reason for them to not run around this way, or just wait for the wave to be cleared by 1 hero. Hero's Hearth gives away way too much information here, because if Leftovers doesn't have that information, there's no way they start the boss. If they don't see heroes mid running up this way, there's no way they start this boss. And that means that the Leftovers, this would be a full HP boss as soon as Leftovers would start now when they see Hero's Hearth top lane. But because Hero's Hearth showed that they were intending to go top lane, and there is still some risk, maybe Hero's Hearth could sneak around here and come down here. But basically, Leftovers has killed a third of the boss by the time Hero's Hearth starts their push here, which is way later than it, way more damage. It would have just been a full HP boss. This would have been another 10-second delay on this boss, and that would have been significantly more damage here than what Hero's Hearth actually ends up getting. Yeah, Hero's Hearth would have gotten this keep if Leftovers didn't have that extra time. And now they're getting punished. There's a cleanse. The Haka Broad on the flank. Is he going to go for an ISO? No. Surprised he didn't go for an ISO here. Just use it on that stack of people. Because even if it misses, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that should have been a good trade for Hero's Hearth, and instead it's going to be an even trade, I guess. Yeah, it's been a while. Because the boss doesn't kill the towers first, Hero's Hearth is going to have a 13 advantage for a little bit. And now Leftovers stepping up as this tower doesn't even die. But they see someone on bottom shots. And they're grouped up as 5 here. It's still really risky for them. Like, even this is really spooky. They see Zeratul now. So now, right now, they know, like, Garrosh is safe to go on this watchtower. That's safe enough. But as soon as Zeratul leaves here, suddenly everything's very spooky for Leftovers. But with this watchtower, and then they see someone on these shots, and that's when they step up. Okay. Because even this 13 timing, and just because they have nowhere to kite to, it could be pretty possible for Hero's Hearth to dive on them with a flank. They don't have the same level of peel for a Deckard as they did in the last game. So they leave the Hawk on these shots, and they 4-man rotate down here. And Hero's Hearth is just rotating around and using their... the safety of their heroes when they're split up, just the high mobility, to get split soak while these shots are being traded. And Leftovers is just rotating back and forth trying to get a fight. And it looks like Hero's Hearth is probably going to give the rest of the shots. Maybe not. Okay, so this is Leftovers' last chance for this temple phase to get a fight. They see Zeratul top, too. Or they saw him at least 5 seconds ago. So Zeratul's split pressuring this keep, and neither team really knows where each other is, so they're both rotating really safely. Leftovers isn't sure if Hero's Hearth is going to backdoor their keep as soon as they show someone on the shots. And Hero's Hearth isn't sure if people are in these bushes or waiting on the shots and stuff like that. Okay. So now they both scout each other, and Malthael, with his increased move speed, rotation speed, went to do a camp. Alright. Would have expected them to take the shots right away, but I guess the camp should secure the shots anyway. This might give Leftovers enough time to rotate and try and fight still. No, Leftovers is not even trying for it, so... Close to even trade, but Hero's Hearth is out-soaking Leftovers in the side lanes a decent amount. Zeratil's dead here. Unless he gets a VP on 2 people. He's not even going to use it, okay. So they see Zeratul clearing this wave, and then he blinks, and they know he blinked, so they just start chasing him down. And they use the Garrosh ally throw to kill him. And Dahaka, as soon as his team starts chasing down here, and they see that Zeratul's by himself and doesn't have a team with him, he starts backing out really early. So, he's safe. Leftovers gets a kill, gets to deny a bunch of soak off of this camp, and the wave's pushing in, and catches up on a lot of experience. But Hero's Hearth now has a level 16 timing on their Zeratul. Level 16 spike. Okay, more pauses. Yeah, Zera 16 is absolutely disgusting. So, that lost Hero's Hearth, they're half level lead or so, but they're still ahead by a lot of structure damage. This keep is damaged, and the wall is gone, and this bottom wall is also damaged a decent amount. And you can see on the map that at all times, basically, Leftovers has a 4-man group and then 1 hero split, either Dahaka or Genji. Whereas a lot of time for Hero's Hearth, they have a 4-man group or a 3-man group and 2 heroes that are split up soaking, with Malthael and Zeratul. And that's giving them a small experience lead, gradually. So now there's only a single temple spawn, and again, Leftovers, they've got a 4-man down here. They can't leave 1 hero by themselves down here to clear out this camp. At least until they figure out where Hero's Hearth is. And I think they might have seen a Nubrak here, and that's why Dahaka's even stepping up here. And Leftovers is again going for a boss force. Sure. They do it a lot faster now that they're 16, with the Li Ming. So this keep is dead for sure. And Hero's Hearth, are they going for a core rush? I don't like that. I don't like going for a core rush here. I would prefer just getting this keep. I don't think this even works. As soon as you see this Garrosh, you have to leave. I don't like that at all. Because let's look at Hero's Hearth options here. So they scouted. It looks like a Nubrak and Garrosh saw each other here. And as soon as they saw the Garrosh, that's when Malthael starts stepping up here. And then Zeratul is also on eye, and I believe, yeah, so Zeratul's on eye. So, Leftovers information, they saw Zeratul here, they saw a Nubrak here, and they saw Malthael here. And Hero's Hearth's information, they saw Dahaka here, they saw Garrosh here. So then, while Hero's Hearth is making this rotation, it's just too slow, because you're going all the way from here. Especially, the thing is, when you have control of this eye, if you can get your Zeratul to watch the rotate, if he stands like here, something like that, to watch this area, and then you keep the rest of your team maybe... it's really tough to phase check the boss still. That's the problem, is that you have no way to scout if the enemy team is on the boss or not. So, that's the issue. And even if you do have... Especially when you do have 2 heroes here, there's no way you can even fight the boss, because they have the Dahaka dig. So... Not sure what Hero's Hearth can actually do here. Maybe they need to just be in better position for that anyway. Just say, we see heroes here clearing this, and immediately start rotating here, because you can tell that the enemy team, the temple's already spawned, and you know the enemy team is setting up for this boss when they have their 4-man down here. Because it is a good call from leftovers, where this boss is really hard to contest. Because either Hero's Hearth has to bring 5 heroes down to here to be in position to fight for the boss, and then Dahaka can get shots. Otherwise, Hero's Hearth just can't be here. Because when does leftovers show on this wave here? They show pretty early, because like it's here with 17 seconds left. I feel like right now, Hero's Hearth sees this, they should say, enemy team is playing bottom side, they're playing for the boss. And they should be leaving. Because they see Genji and Li Ming, and they see Deckard throw a potion here, so they know where the entire team of leftovers is, other than the Garrosh and Dahaka, but Garrosh will be with the 4-man. And now they see the Garrosh too, so they have perfect information on leftovers' position actually. So they should just be rotating a lot sooner. They spend a lot of time not rotating. Just got done watching Glau feed. I mean, yeah, that's a classic. And I think 100%. One thing to keep in mind is, teams, even when structures are destroyed, you still have guaranteed global vision within your own base. That vision never goes away. So you always see when heroes go into your base, even if there aren't any buildings there to see them, because you just have passive vision there, basically. So Greymane, he's seen by Dahaka, but they see every single other hero as well. They show on the gate too. Okay. But yeah, they see them. As long as Hero's Hearth heroes are in this area here, Leftovers has vision on them, 100%, without even needing their heroes to see them. So at this point, Hero's Hearth got the full top temple, and they traded it for a boss. And that's still not a terrible trade, but I think they could have gotten more, maybe. Maybe it's too hard to push mid. I don't know. Because top lane is the easiest lane to split push, because that's furthest away from the boss. So you know that if the enemy team's on the boss and you go top, there's no way they can collapse there in time. But now this gives the opportunity for Leftovers to push with this boss and get a keep trade for themselves. Because now Leftovers can 5-man, and they know that Hero's Hearth has to be his 5 as well. So there's no more rotation around the map stuff going on. And yeah, this keeps going then. It's not like Greymane does any damage here. Especially, I don't know why he's playing so passively with his damage, to be honest. Crowan could be playing super... Because the thing is, so here's Crowan. He has level 7 auto attack range, and he has 30% move speed as Greymane. There's no reason why he can't just attack move into this. Garrosh Q range is way shorter than his auto attack range at this point. Or just at level 7 in general, and he's 30% move speed. There should be no way that he keeps on flinching from nothing. I don't know. It's not like the Garrosh is just walking straight into him. And it doesn't matter that much. I mean, the Garrosh Q is on cooldown even, too. Like, his attack range is longer than Dahaka Tongue. Dahaka Tongue range is about the same as Garrosh Q. So, it doesn't matter. The only thing it would really do is drain Deckard's mana a little bit. But I mean, maybe if he does enough damage, then Hero's Hearth sees an opportunity while Leftovers is retreating to get an engage. But otherwise, it doesn't matter that much. But that's the kind of thing where if it was an actual team fight, then Greymane needs to be 100% uptime auto-attacking in that kind of situation. Alright. Zeratul sees this, they see everyone else top, and they know Night Camp got taken, so they're setting up for some split push bottom. Zeratul's caught, though. He has to use VP. He's fine. But that is VP down, which means that Leftovers can take a 5v5 much more easily. And with them having control of the Watchtower, and they pushed off this split push pretty well, so now they have their Dahaka set up bottom, they have control of the Watchtower, there's no VP for a team fight, and they're only down taunt, which will be back up soon. And they even have a Night Camp pushing top into the catapults to deny that, whereas their catapults aren't dealt with. Okay, there's a siege camp. So both teams' catapults don't do too much, but Leftovers has the much better positioning advantage. And they're forcing Hero's Hearth into a team fight now. Oh, never mind, they're not. What are they doing? Genji's clearing a top wave. Okay. Okay. There's no... Was there no taunt for this? Seems like he walks up right when taunt's off cooldown, but then he doesn't taunt combo it. Oh, he doesn't have the Q. That's why. I guess? I don't know, I feel like Anub'arak might have been killable here. If you throw taunt, Deckard throws down his combo, maybe... No, Deckard has his E. Because taunt is 2-second duration, so if Deckard uses his E as the taunt goes off, then it's guaranteed to chain the CC. And then that would be 2-second taunt into 1.75 root, with Leeming damage on top of it. Anub gets the Q off. Oh, yeah, the Anub gets the Q off. You're right. He might not have been able to actually chain the throw with the taunt. So which team actually hits level 20 first? What happens here? Is he unstoppable the entire time? So that's 2 seconds self-unstoppable into an immediate Rhaegar cleanse. That's pretty nice. And then Ancestral's down. And now he's overchased. Huh. Seems like he tunnels really hard on this. Because the thing is, they get a good collapse on this. And Malthael is pretty overextended. And Zeratul mid. And I think they know he's mid too. Yeah, they know Zeratul's mid. So they know this is a 5v4 with a Dahakadig coming in. Which is coming in. So... he's going for Malthael, but the problem is, as soon as Malthael gets into throw range, he self-cleanses. 2-second unstoppable. And then as soon as that ends, Rhaegar cleanses immediately afterwards. And then, after that, he W's onto Mopsio, and then jukes him with the Rhaegar slow. And at this point, he's overchased. I mean, already he might have already overchased. Yeah, it was a good chaining of the cleanse, where there was no opportunity for Garrosh to throw. Because you can't throw somebody that's unstoppable. You just can't. And then the Ancestral goes off. And I feel like as soon as you see the Ancestral go off, then you have to say, alright, this isn't happening anymore. Especially because you've been eating the entire time that he's chasing here. He's eating... what damage is he even eating? Is it just Malthael Q damage? Malthael auto-attacks him once and then Qs. Yeah, because Greymane's in melee form, so Greymane isn't even doing damage. Why is Greymane not in ranged form? I'm not sure why Greymane isn't doing... see, again, there's no reason for Greymane not to be in ranged form just doing full DPS on this Garrosh that's just walking past him. Now he starts doing damage, and now Garrosh is dead. And now the game's over. Deckard's caught. Zeratul shows up with level 16. He's gonna kill everything. He has a Vorpal on somebody, I hope. No, doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. There's no way for leftovers to escape this. Zeratul's gonna wait for his next blink cooldown. Blink in. Okay, good. He dodges asleep. He has Wormhole back onto the Li Ming, and everybody's dead, and the game's done. Alright, so... man, that was just good macro from Hero's Hearth, other than the level 1 death. That level 1, or not level 1, but like 1 minute death on Greymane could have actually screwed up their entire macro plan. But luckily for them, Leftovers comp doesn't really do anything, I guess. I asked Tempo to stop drafting solo tank Uther, or at least show them how to play it. I don't know. Send them a tweet on Twitter. Tell them that they're bad at that kind of comp. He X-Strike Cocoon, though? Where? What? You mean that? The Cocoon got lasered, but it still CC'd the Deckard and the Li Ming for 2 seconds. And Anub'arak could have even gone for an interrupt on the laser. You go for Cocoon and you immediately go for CC on the Li Ming because you know she's going to laser. On the core when the game was... oh, okay, sure. Good job, Genji. Is that even intentional? That's not even... that actually could be intentional. But okay. Okay, good job, Genji. Great stuff. Alright, let's make this one quick. What is this? They're analyzing Genji killing Team Liquid's core while they're up 4 levels? Neat. Alright. Irrel ban is really random. What's your plan with that Irrel ban? Is it just to pick Blaze? Because Dahak is bad on this map because there's only 3 bushes total? It's actually so funny how few bushes on this map. There's actually, if you just only count one half of the map because it's symmetrical, there's like total of 4 or 5. Can I analyze the ad breaks? No. The one put up a better fight than HHE, to be honest. Okay. Okay, so now Dignitas just gets the Blaze. So they just have the offlane advantage. Now the one has to go into either offlane Thrall or offlane Malthael. Which is fine, I guess. But I feel like the point of the Arel ban is to get the Blaze offlane. And I mean, they got the Taunt instead. But you also have to expect the enemy team's going to ban Maiev and Genji, because that's what Dignitas has been doing in almost all of their drafts. So they take Diablo, they're probably going to ban Garrosh here. And they get the Malthael offlane, sure. Dig wants to ban out a ranged hero. Probably a Phoenix. They're not that worried about Phoenix because they have the bunker. Jaina, sure. And probably a Garrosh ban here. Otherwise, it would be a support ban. Okay. Nice. Tyrael Deckard, sure. So yeah, Dig has a ton of answers to AoE teamfight stuff like a Phoenix, Lightning Breath stuff. And they get the Deckard. So, I said this before, on a previous Full Sky draft, Deckard is just really low on sustain, and he has mana problems. So on the first Shrine, it could be an issue for Dignitas. And there's a Cassia. I mean, it's fine. Cassia is really good against Tyrael because he has no hard CC, and she's decent against Raynor. The only problem is that he outranges her really heavily, and he can knock her back to keep her out of range. But the big thing is that Raynor doesn't threaten her that much. But the problem is there's still a last pick, and this last pick is just going to be a Li Ming. And that's going to be a problem for the Cassia, because with the Li Ming, with the Tyrael Q slow, and with the Deckard slows, and with the Blaze slows, it's really easy to hit combos on Cassia. You don't need her to be hard CC'd. She has no way to dodge them. And this is again the Cassia with Diablo, where if you pick a mage into the Cassia, it's bad against Diablo, but I think on this map, it doesn't matter. You already have a Raynor to hit the Diablo, and the rest of their team is squishy. Okay, it's a Junkrat. Not sure about that pick. The problem with the Junkrat is just that his 4v4 and 5v5 in the early game is pretty weak, unless you get a W to knock someone into your team. Other than that, his damage is pretty low. He doesn't have high sustained damage. He doesn't have any burst threat. Cassia was a good pick in hindsight. I mean, I would have liked to see a Li Ming rather than a Junkrat. The only hero that's tanky against Li Ming is Diablo, and Raynor can pressure him really hard. Just as long as like your teamfight positioning is that your Raynor is hitting the Diablo, and your Li Ming is the one threatening the Cassia, then everything's good. And I think Dignitas has the advantage with getting that kind of positioning because they have so many slows. Yeah, Cassia's fine against Raynor. I wouldn't say that she counters him. It's not like her against Illidan or other heroes like that, where they actually can't do anything to her. Raynor has a lot of counterplay to the Cassia still. Alright. One upside of the Junkrat is you can use his W to control the health pack if you want to force that early. That might be what Dignitas is playing for, is they don't have the winning the offlane though. The one is the one that has the team that has the winning offlane with Malthael versus Blaze. Alright, there's a Raynor getting going on. What is this, just a Q a minion to get onto the Raynor with the 15% move speed? Yep, okay. Alright, and this time he's holding his Q for the stop on that. So no. Dig is starting their turret, and the one is going to get... Okay, so this is one thing that Junkrat can do on this map, and that he doesn't do here, is you can actually just throw... Right at the start of the game, as soon as the game starts, you just put your W on this health pack camp right away, because you can have one down, and then have the ability off cooldown. Because what's going to happen here is he puts down his W now, and that means that he only has one W for the point, because it's going to be on cooldown when this thing dies, most likely. Whereas if he had two, it would actually be possible for Tyrael to steal it. Because imagine he knocks off, and then he knocks off again. That would be possible for Tyrael to steal it. Still pretty hard when they're already committed to the turret. Not sure why they even did this. What do you have the Junkrat for when you're just going to give away the health pack like that? You're going to invade their turret camp? That's the plan? Well, if Diablo's going to sit there and eat a bunch of damage that Tyrande isn't healing, then maybe. But now what? Okay. I mean, alright. So now the enemy team just has a free health pack? And that can be a big enough advantage by... Oh, you just get a free kill on Malthael. Bottom lane. Sure. What is Malthael stepping up for? Is it a globe? Is it a globe again? No, he's just... It's a globe. Of course it's a globe that he kills himself for. And that loses him the turret. Alrighty then. Good stuff. Well, one thing that Junkrat is good for is he can solo this camp. But that camp doesn't do anything. Does literally nothing. There goes Tyrael. Neat. So now it's a health pack versus a turret. And the health pack still is stronger, I think, but that's not nearly as much of an advantage. Okay, so this is just Junkrat threw his W to try and cheese the Hanzo, but especially with the indicator when you throw it, it's never going to work. And then he immediately gets gone on by Diablo. They're like, hey, this guy wasted his only escape. Diablo says, oh, okay. I'll press Q on him and then flip him. And then he's dead. And the other big thing, too, is Junkrat doesn't put any damage. What is that? That has to be a misclick. He must have that on quick cast and just fat-fingered it or something. But that's pretty bad. Alright. Dignitas is trying to make the game fair. The one threw away their turret camp, so they're going to throw away theirs. Sure. But the big thing, basically, is the only damage pressure, the only damage threat Dignitas has in this early game is Raynor. And if Raynor is not pressuring the Malthael is just going to go ham on whoever he wants. So the one face tanks a bit to get extra percent. Now they're going to tap and heal back up. Hanzo's catching the wave. And they're going to step back up. And again, if there's no Raynor hitting the Malthael is just going to destroy the tanks. And Junkrat's dead again. I mean, that's another thing that's just Diablo Tyrande. It was a thing before, and it's a really strong thing now. Turret gets Inspire buffed? Sure, I think. It gets like 10% attack speed or something. That's not anything. Alright, so the game should be done here, to be honest. This is a Tree Glove. They're ahead on experience already by a decent bit. And they're chasing kills with it. Well, that's bad. Alright, that's fine. That was fine. 35 armor. Okay. As soon as the armor drops off, they should stop face tanking, though. Wait for the minion wave to show up to tank the towers. Alright, so they're literally just running the face tank, running the Tree Glove into the wall and face tanking, and they're still killing the entire wall and the well, and they killed most of mid wall too. So they're up a full level. That full level lead, as long as they make sure the Tree Glove doesn't die before it runs out of duration, means that they should have this health pack for free. And I don't even think they used the first health pack. Yeah, so they're going to have 2 health packs. They have a level 10 advantage. This game should be over. The game should be done. This is Volskaya, where the game should just be over. Level 10, force this fort down. Don't engage on that. Or, okay, sure. Why did you health pack that? No! No, why would you health pack that and then bait yourself into staying on that health pack and then throw your entire lead? Woo! Great stuff. Alright, maybe they do something here. There's a big Hanzo ultimate into an APOC. Okay. Okay. Tyrande's gonna die. No, she's not. Why is Cassia so scared here? She has a Tyrande mark on her. I guess Tyrande's just not in the fight anymore, and there's a turret hitting her. Okay. I mean, they're just so... All the CC comes in, and there's no follow-up. And then the damage starts happening, and there's no CC. And then the CC comes back in, and then there's finally follow-up. Alright, so let's imagine right now that the one is instead at level 13.5, has 2 health packs, has a turret, and all that Dignitas has is a turret, and this fort is dead. Okay, it's dead anyway. But imagine if Dignitas never even gets level 13 to contest this, and they're down 2 health packs for the fight. They're down a talent tier, they're down 2 health packs. It should be impossible to win the fight, no matter what the team comps are. And instead, Dig is going to get this health pack, which is fine. The one is prioritizing percent over that, I guess. And I mean, I guess they're not favored on that fight. Yeah, that's fine. I will accept the one giving that away in that current situation. Just because the fight is really awkward against Junkrat, and Tyrael even. Oh, he has the Q-swappy thing. Doesn't matter. Alright, so now Snitch has realized that if Diablo QEs him, he's dead. Unless there's a Sanct on top of him, and that's kind of awful. So he is playing insanely safe. And if your Junkrat can't even auto-attack and literally just has a 4-charge 12-second cooldown Q, that's a pretty useless hero. I would rather have a Sylvanas, almost. I wouldn't rather have a Sylvanas. That hero sucks. But it's pretty close. So the one's getting wave control, and this is a really heavy stack. Okay, go on Junkrat. Just kill the Junkrat then. Malthael didn't get the second W cooldown, but now Junkrat's out of the fight. This is a 5v4. The only thing that Junkrat's going to do in this fight is Riptire. And that got stopped by APOC. So Junkrat's out of the fight. This is a 5v4 for the one, and they are even on health pack. And they're losing the fight still. How did you screw this up, the one? What did you do wrong? Seems like the APOC combo. I mean, they just don't combo APOC with the Hanzo ult, so it doesn't hit anybody. They all get in the Sank or get in the bunker. And then the Hanzo ult does nothing. I don't know. They shouldn't lose a 5v4. I mean, bunker does a lot of damage, I guess. Health pack gets dropped in a terrible spot that they can't even use it full duration, and even dies. They have no idea how to use a health pack, I guess. They got bunkered. Yeah, bunkered and Hyperioned. I don't know. I guess they got Deckard 13. That's what actually kills them. Is they're all really stacked up, and some heroes auto-attack a couple times, and that does 700,000 damage. Damn, don't you wish you had 2 more health packs to one? And you know, with some more stuff? And didn't just throw the game completely? Alright, well, Dignitas wins now. Junkrat got 16 for free. Junkrat gets to get level 16 on this map for free. Alright, where's the Junkrat W on the point? There isn't one. Oh, he's just gonna sit there and get APOC stunned. Okay. So what knocked the Diablo off the point? Oh, is there a Junkrat W down? It's invisible. I can't even see it. Okay, there is one. It's actually camouflaged with the capture point. What's the best Junkrat 16? The cooldown reduction. The one that he took. By a very large margin. Alright, well, now the one's just dying a bunch. Damn, wouldn't it be nice to have 3 health packs and a 3 level lead for this 3rd Trigolov point? That would be great. It's too bad you threw it all away. And now Junkrat's level 16, so we can actually poke you out. Okay. That was a nice, Valkyrie. Okay, so they do that Valkyrie off of the Tyrande hitting. So it's a 40% slow, a big shrink ray, and then they hit the Valkyrie guaranteed, and then they just YOLO on him, and the Sanct isn't there in time. Because Tyrael doesn't get the Q, and yeah, he just barely doesn't get it out in time. And watch them still lose this fight. Look at this. Look at this. This is how you actually use your consumables properly. Look at all this value that these turrets and health packs are getting. Look at that. The turret is 1v2ing right now. And the one doesn't have a tap, because Second Tree Glove takes out your bottom lane top. Or the talent tier advantage takes it out. Alright, I don't know why Tyrande isn't auto-attacking at all. I guess she just doesn't want to have any healing output. But sure, walk into that Junkrat bomb that's in the corner over here to take free damage and give him cooldown resets. Okay. I mean, I feel like the one can win this pretty easily, as long as their Tyrande just auto-attacks something. The only thing that can even threaten her is a Blaze Charge, and if someone just stands in front of her to tank it, then she can cleanse it off of them. Because, like, Dig has no damage here, too. What could literally happen here is Cassia just attack moves into them. Just start attack moving into them with your Tron behind you. She has her 7 talent coming off cooldown right now. They just do nothing. They don't even use the turret. Yeah, Cassia also just has this turret the entire time. And then when she puts it down, they're not even fighting on top of it. Dig has to kite away from the turret, but Malthael's over here. Alright. This Trick 11's the game. Or not. Alright, what happened? Oh, they waste the shield. So here's the thing. This shield, the E button on the Tree Glove when you're in melee form of it, gives your entire team like a 20% max health shield. It is ridiculously broken in team fights, but they waste it. So then their Raynor gets pulled in, and then he doesn't get a 20% max health shield. So he dies, and then their Deckard dies. And then they don't even focus the core with the Tree Glove spells. Oh yeah, they had the turret for the entire initial fight, 5v5. So how does this start? Is this just a blank Cassia ultimate? Or is this off a Tyrande Owl again? No, he just uses it. Okay. I mean, the one has really strong chain CC. With Hanzo ult and APOC and stuff. Can they even end off of this? Their core damage is decent, as long as they don't... They're eating core splash right now. Okay, they swapped aggro onto Malthael, which isn't great. And they're not all standing in the health pack. What? Malthael's the one tanking the core, instead of Diablo. First mistake. Second mistake, health pack isn't even hitting everybody. You do need to put it out of core range so it doesn't get targeted by the core, but everyone should be in the health pack area. And then Tyrann's not even... Where's the Tyrande mark on the Malthael to keep him alive? There's nothing. They just... Tyrande just... They're not even near each other. Alright. I mean, the game should be... Any other team, if Dignitas does this draft with this Junkrat and ends up losing the first Tree Glove and being down a full level and this entire top fort and 2 health packs, against any real team at this tournament, they will just lose. 100%. The game will just be done. Should not be winnable from that point. But then the one decided to go on a Tyrael that they pulled in with Cassia, didn't even chain CC him properly, so he got sanked off, and then dropped their health pack when they didn't even need to use it to get baited to stand there so that they die to a Blaze plus Junkrat combo. That is pretty awful. Yeah, you can't place it closer. Very much winnable. It should have been unwinnable for Dignitas, from how the game played out for the first 5 minutes. Core call by the one could have worked if executed properly. Yeah. Like, what the one had to screw up is first they had to somehow throw away their 2 health pack plus level leaded plus fort advantage, and they did. Then they had to screw up by screwing up the 13 versus 13 fight that they had a 5v4 in, which they screwed up. And then they still had a decently even fight on the bottom lane, which they then screwed up. Is Junkrat broken meta now? He's okay on some maps, not on Volskaya though. Because he did, on that Volskaya game, he did nothing. That hero did nothing. It got farmed by a Diablo Tyrande combo. And then got level 16 and finally started being relevant. Yeah. They probably couldn't core. anyway. Raynor level 20 does too much damage with the armor reduction. Because you, like, at level 20 with the armor reduction on Raynor, your Q does over 1,000 damage. So Raynor just dropped Hyperion, started auto-attacking, got the 4th hit, pressed Q, one-shot Malthael. Alright, in this game, Dignitas just gets the first pick Diablo, and that is an Alexstrasza pick, super high priority. And that's fine, that can work, as long as you get really strong shrine control. But the problem is now Dignitas can take away all of the really good shrine control heroes. Junkrat and Phoenix. This is actually, I feel like this could be just a Phoenix, and then probably Tyrande, and then ban out Blaze, so there's no counter to the combo. Okay, a Hanzo instead, sure. And the one bans out Blaze for them. Malthael ban. And then they pick Leoric instead of Irel. Okay. And a Raynor. So the issue here for the one is they're going to have Dragon Form, they're going to use it on the Shrine, Dignitas will back up off of the Shrine, and then still be contesting the Skulls effectively with Hanzo range. And then they might even still get with a Gul'dan, sure. Junkrat, not Hanzo. Hanzo's fine too. I just like the Diablo Phoenix combo for team fights, because you can win a team fight through a Dragon Form Alexstrasza, because she can't heal AoE. And the enemy team is going to clump up on her W. So they clump up on her W, you just go in, you Lightning Breath, you Phoenix ult them, and they still die through the dragon. But what they got is fine anyway. So yeah, the one is not going to be able to stop Dignitas from stealing skulls while they're standing off of the Shrine. And Leoric is not going to be very effective. They don't have good follow-up for Entomb. They needed, I don't know, but not Greymane. They needed something that could not need to go in melee on the Gul'dan, but threaten him if the Leoric entombs him. Not sure what hero that can actually be, because Li Ming isn't good on this map because all of her spells got blocked. Maybe a Jaina, honestly. Oh, this is Tomb. No, this isn't Tomb. No, this is Shrines. There just is this random replay. What, Entomb? Oh, yeah. Right, this is the team that doesn't take Entomb on this hero. They go March. So this hero is actually not useful anymore. I don't know why they didn't take Irel, especially after banning Blaze. They banned Blaze to cut out the off-lane hero pool, and then don't even pick one of the priority picks. So then Dignitas still gets Irel for free. If they'd taken Irel, Dignitas would have had to have a Dahaka or something else, which is much worse. Especially against Alexstrasza. Dahaka's really not useful against her. Because her Dragon Form just constantly knocks him away. He can't ever get tongues during that duration. Alright, so Dig also has way stronger wave clear, so they can actually just randomly 4-man top. And there's a Diablo Tyrande combo. And meanwhile, Gul'dan's sitting here. And he's on his horse, so he's safe. And he's going to clear the wave, and there's no way they can actually hit this wall. So that's just a free kill on a Leoric. And that's a free kill on a Garrosh. Maybe not, he's too tanky. Maybe Hanzo still kills him. Okay. Sure. And now Dig might even invade their siege camp. Oh, more free kills. Alright, yeah, more free kills. That's three free kills, full level lead. Alright, make it a level and a half lead. Make it a push with a camp in one of the lanes. Easy. Don't even need to take the night camp because it's top lane shrine. Irel's going to control the top lane shrine ahead of Leoric because she has a level lead and she just has 4% stats on everything. Leoric is killing himself. Another free kill, even though they screw up the combo. Oh look, another free kill. Wow. Dragon Form? Let's fight into it. No, we don't actually. That's way too tanky. It's too bad you're behind 32 skulls to 12. Otherwise your Dragon Form might actually do something. Damn, look at how powerful that dragon is. It's so powerful. Except when it doesn't heal your Garrosh. And heals your Greymane instead. So your Garrosh dies. That's not very powerful. A Dig is just overconfident here, where they see the dragon go off and they still try and kill the Garrosh. Even though he's unkillable at this point. They don't have any heal reduction or any way to stop her from pressing Q on Garrosh, but then she doesn't, so he still dies. And that's a shrine. And the snowball continues. And that's a fort. That's a full level lead. Oh, another free kill on Leroy? Not quite. Sure. And take their camp. They just finished clearing the Punisher. More walls. Another fort. Free kill on Greymane. Level 10 advantage. Level 11 advantage. Go for a Hanzo ult. At some point. No? Okay. This game was lost in draft? No. This game was lost after they gave 3 free kills away in the first 2 minutes. I mean, the Diablo-Tehran combo is so easy. The Tehran just waits to see the Diablo's E animation where he grabs people and starts flipping them, and then she uses her E behind him. It's not hard to do. Anyone can do it. You don't even need to be in comms. All you need to do is you look at when the Diablo charges somebody, and then you look at when he starts Z, and then you cast your E. That's it. 100% change CC, 100% guaranteed. There's no randomness, there's no need for comms or anything. Diablo's in a bad spot, though. That's a nice fear, though. And Hanzo ult. Which interrupted the Alexstras's ultimate, and now Garrosh is dead. So, what's the issue for the one here? They're just too stacked, I guess? Yeah. I guess you should just never get 4-man Gul'dan feared. Also, they didn't even throw taunt. What are they doing? Throw taunt! Throw taunt so he can't lightning breath your whole team. What is this throw and then let him land and then he lightning breaths your whole team? What is that? I mean, you can't just use the sub excuse at every single event. That's just ridiculous. Alright. Go and farm them. This is an Arcane Punisher, so it'll be a keep. Might even be the game. Diablo got pulled in a bit far by that rail knockback, but he just presses Lightning Breath. Oh, and then a 4-man Gul'dan Fear. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? Hanzo ult even get stacked with it, but who cares? What would a decent team do versus Diablo-Tehran? I mean, there's nothing you can do about the Diablo-Tehran combo, unless you have an interrupt for the Diablo flip, like a Raynor. I mean, that by itself, you can't do much about it. But you just have to kill the Diablo with a Garrosh or something like that. Or just not put yourself in a position where you can get Diablo-Tehran comboed with the rest of their team following up, without your team being able to save you. Heroes Hearth versus Leftovers, yeah. No, you don't want to use Cleanse on the Diablo combo unless you're killing them as punishment for it. I don't know. They're both just OP heroes, so you can't just say just counter them, because they don't really have counters. Alright, so that's a bunch of tank bans. And Genji is up, Maiev is up, Tyrande is up. There's so many heroes up. Even Abathur. No, Abathur on turn. So there's Maiev Deckard priority. Deckard has a bit better stall on turn-ins, and a bit better wave clear, but he doesn't have map hacks. And his healing is a lot worse, and he has mana problems. So Tempest is going to get Tyrande, and they take Urel. So that's kind of surprising that neither team picked a main tank with so many tank bans. So they're going to ban more tanks out? Or a ranged? They banned Zhou. Okay. So what tanks are even left here? Muradin. Tyrael? Yeah, Hanzo's only first pick on BOE. That's it. Tempest might ban on offlane, ban out Blaze. It's not really any range priority. Malthael ban, that's random. Why would you be scared of Malthael when you already have the Genji? There's no way Malthael can 1v1 against Urel when the Genji can just go down and kill him at any time. Task Tracer. Okay then. No, he's not first pick on Cursed. Phoenix ETC. Alright then. And a main tank Zool. Okay, so they have the main tank Zool with a double support to make him tanky. In the early game, him and Tassadar can clear the wave really easily without getting punished that hard, and then Tracer can mess with their rotations, and Maev's in the offlane, which is kind of weird. Or no, it's a Task Tracer bottom lane. But that makes Zool really vulnerable to ETC Tyrant. He can actually die to that. And Tempest's wave clear is pretty bad. Their only wave clear is a Phoenix. Genji can't wave clear, ETC can't wave clear, Tyrant can't wave clear, so Leftovers has a really big... No, we were the ones that started main tank Zool. We were way ahead of any international Zool playing. So, normally when we run main tank Zool, it's with stronger supports, though. So the big issue here is that if Zool ever walks up, he can get... If it's like a 5v5 situation, if Zool walks up, he gets slid, Tyrant stunned, marked, and he dies. And that's an issue, when your tank can't walk forward into even ETC slide range. Yeah, they either put Maiev in the offlane, who will lose against Irel, or they put Task Tracer in the offlane, and then only have a 3-man rotation, without the Tassadar to protect the Zool. Alright. So, what Leftovers really needs to do is get an early advantage off of the wave clear. Would Uther be good? No. If you have Uther, you just get poked out on turn-ins. So, what is Leftovers doing? Because they have the wave clear advantage. They have waves that are constantly pushing into the Tyrant mid. But can they just not push? This is weird. Like, they're wasting a lot of time. There's just a ton of time where Zool is standing here doing nothing. And Tempest this entire time, Phoenix isn't showing clearing the wave. And if Phoenix isn't even showing clearing a wave, you have to know he's doing something else, because he is their main wave clear. So Tempest is actually getting this night camp completely free. Leftovers didn't get any gems in during this time. They didn't get any damage on any buildings. They actually just sat there and did nothing while Tempest had 1 or 2 heroes committed to a night camp. Uther Brightwing still an option? Not really, I don't think. Okay. And now, while Leftovers is taking out their night camp, they're losing their entire mid wall. So yeah, this is just awful. Leftovers has 2 heroes that could solo the night camp just as effectively as Phoenix, and they just don't. They waste a lot of time, and now they're down an entire mid wall for free. They haven't gotten a single advantage off of their way stronger early game with wave clear. Liquid versus Genji already analyzed? Not sure. Hold on. Oops, need to scroll down more. No. So now now Leftovers has a Night Camp pushing mid that Phoenix has to clear. And they're getting a pick off on Tehran, so that's good. Tehran overextends and gets Maiev tethered and is dead. And now with that kill, Leftovers need to get all their gems in. They should push in. Top is pushed in. Zul is turning in right now. That's good. Tracer needs to get her turning in. Maiev needs to get her turning in. Because they're already really close to turning. And Maev's already getting stalled. So Maiev hasn't gotten her gems in. Tracer got a tower. And I don't think that's enough still. That's not nearly enough, honestly. Yeah, it wasn't on main broadcast. I'm doing second stream after first stream. You only get experience from your enemy minions dying. Enemy minions dying. What is happening here? Cameraman? The fight is happening down here. Looks like Phoenix's E gets caught by a Tehran stun? Or what? No. That's his own teammate, Tehran. Okay, I have no idea what happened there. But at the end of the day, Leftovers killed a Tehran, and all they got for it was a turret and one of the hero's gems in. And the big thing, too, is Tehran is Tempest's best stall hero. Her and Genji. So they really should have been able to secure turn-ins while the Tehran was dead. Because now they're going to have a lot more trouble. Yeah, you don't need to last hit minions, you just need to be standing there nearby. Okay, Maiev manages to get her turn-in in. But Tracer is getting bullied a bit. A lot. She might even be dead. Okay. But now Tempest is the team getting... How is Tempest getting gems in? How is this even possible? Are they just letting their mid-wall die? So who just got gems in? Phoenix just got gems in? And then Tehran's here catching the wave. So that tower might be close to dead. But Tehran's using her E for wave clear. To clear it partly. And then Elders gets to turn in for free. And then Genji's gonna get to turn in. What? How is that even possible? How can you be the team that has 3 super high wave clear heroes against only 2 mediocre wave clear heroes, and you're not even getting the first turn in? And you got a kill too. How is that possible? What? I mean, the game's over now. Your early game did nothing, and now your Zul can't do anything because he can't walk into an ATC that's grouped with his team. Yeah, Garrosh is broken. And especially broken against weaker players. Like, he's insane and competitive, where people are already playing around him as much as possible. So, the only thing that's nice for Leftovers is that with their really strong wave clear, they're defending all of the lanes. So, Tempest only gets 1 wall off of the turn-in. But this significantly reduces the time that Leftovers has to actually get a turn-in and snowball off of it. Alright, here's a flank. The route goes on Tehran, though, and ETC is zoning really hard. And it's really hard to get past ETC. Oh, he even slides in. Tass could have eaten that. That wasn't chained. That CC was not chained at all. So Tass eats a Web Weaver wave. And then ETC slides him. And then, yeah, he could E out here. 100% he could have E'd out through that if he was mashing his E. Looks like ETC will die. And that is a lot of gems. But Tehran is way out sustaining. And especially with Task dead, Tracer can't do that much. She even gets hit by the Irel jump. So, right here, Genji goes in, pretty aggressive. Oh, his E's down. Never mind, it's on cooldown. You're right. So, Tempest dive in. They end up forcing the Tassadar E with ETC slide. And then leftovers look to punish that. But the big issue is Zul can't really choose who he targets. It's just whoever he walks into first. So he roots the Tyrande, does a bit of damage, but at this point, Irel is rotating here first. And then Tempest turn again with Irel here. They get the kill on Task, who doesn't have his E. So he's actually overextended here. Task should not be in slide range of ETC if his E is on cooldown. Just straight up. And the thing is, too, Tassadar's auto attack range is long enough that you can auto attack while being outside of range of it. So he just should not have gotten slid there. So with him dead, they punish the ETC whose slide is down. But then Tyrande is still doing full damage, full auto attacking the entire time. Phoenix comes back with his shield recharge, and your Zul is useless. Yeah. So now Tempest is ahead. They're going to kill this fort, and that gives them level 10. They don't have a turn in because ETC died, but they get a night camp out, and they can push mid with that. Especially with the siege camp bottom. And leftovers hasn't gotten a single turn in yet, and I don't think they can ever get a turn in again for the rest of this game. Because now Tempest, they're wave clear heroes. Like, especially Genji, once he scales, gets enough levels, his E starts to one-shot waves with the level 4. Oh, he didn't have it. Okay, never mind. Is Zul only good because of W build? Yeah, that's the idea, is that he walks in and he W's the enemy team for his tankiness, with some kind of second support to keep him alive for the initial burst. We did play HGC, we just didn't make it to BlizzCon. Mal'Ganis isn't allowed because he was released too close to the tournament. That's just standard for recently released heroes to not be allowed for a certain amount of time. So no Mal'Ganis for the whole tournament. So Genji still can't clear side lanes, but Phoenix can go and he can one-shot a side wave. Irel can go and one-shot a side wave, and Leftovers never has this split pushing advantage again. And look at Zul. He can't do anything. He has his shield active too. He's almost full HP. There's his shield. I mean, just slide him, you mark him, and he's dead. Like, that wasn't even close. He could have been slid at any point here. ETC could, any point ETC could slide him, he can just slide him. And this is a dead Zul. 100%. I don't know, he doesn't even need to wait this long. I mean, he can, because Zul's not trying to get out of slide range, but it doesn't matter. You slide him, like, there was so much damage here. Look at how much damage doesn't even go to the Zul because he was already dead. Phoenix has a big W here, or a big auto attack here. Genji dash might not even hit him. There's so much damage that doesn't even go on a Zul because he's already dead. There's a zoning mosh pit. Nice X strike. And then Tron mark on him so he can go do whatever he wants. Yeah, I mean, the issue is I don't know why minor region teams are at BlizzCon in the way that they are. Because they just come in, they get the last place prize and they leave. And that's how it's been for the past 2 years, and that's how it's been for this tournament, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is I don't think Deckard's a strong enough support for the Zul. He doesn't have cleanse, and he doesn't have any burst healing. And then same thing for the Tracer. He just doesn't do anything. I don't know why they didn't take Tyrande instead of Deckard. Tyrande would have been way stronger for them. Because then the other thing too is Tyrande follow-up. I mean, Deckard has good follow-up on the Zul combo, on the Zul root, but so does Tyrande. So, Tempest gets another turn in. They're taking a fort out. They're getting some kills on Maiev. They're getting another fort, 2-level lead, take a boss. Boss trades for all of Leftovers gems that they have left. He barely plays anything but Kayn? Okay. I mean, that's... I don't know. Okay. Yeah, you can slide the Maiev at some point. Oh, she even jumped. Oh, Irel's not here, though. So that's a 4v5. Alright, here comes Leftovers for their engage with some Zul skeletons. And they get the tether down. Not on Tehran, though. And then Tracer's dead. How does she die? She eats a full X strike. What? Okay, so Tracer just eats a full X strike, and then a Genji dash. Does she just not have recall? She seems to have recall. Alright. And then they're all dead. And that's a keep. And then this should be a second keep. Oh look, Tracer ate an EDC slide. Oh, that's nice, off of the Arel knock stun. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Leftovers just sat there and did nothing in the early game. They were behind coming out of the early game, which is ridiculous when they had such a stronger early game. Towers of Doom. Is Abathur going to be banned? No. Alright. So, Tehran, Abathur, Garrosh, and Diablo are both up. Maybe Dahaka priority too? Hanzo first pick. Alrighty then. Tehran to Raynor. What is the Raynor pick for? Do they really need to pick Raynor now, when the enemy team already picked Hanzo? I feel like they don't. I feel like it would be better to take your off lane, or your tank or something, because now Leftovers has the option to take Diablo or Garrosh and ban the other one. Nerves getting to them after 0-2 against Heroes Hearth? I guess. I don't know. How come no one uses White Mane? Tyrande is better, and teams are prioritizing Deckard over her too. And Malf sometimes over her. I think she's really insanely strong too. I'm not sure why teams don't pick her more. I don't think Malf is any better than her. And Deckard is different, but her and Malf are really similar, and I think she's I feel like she should just be better than Malf. But I don't know. Yeah, there's the Garrosh ban. So now Tempest has been denied a main tank pick, whereas otherwise they would have been kind of denied a Raynor pick if Leftovers picked that or banned it, but then there's still Li Ming, there's still Phoenix, there's so many other ranged to prioritize. And this should be a 4-man thrall. But I don't know why. Where's the Dahaka priority too? Because there was a match yesterday where a team just, it was Team Liquid, they just picked Dahaka and they got a full level lead and almost snowballed the game off of it. Could they have picked Abathur and Tehran together? Sure. There's so many heroes you can pair Abathur with, like Zeratul, Valera, Tracer is fine with Abathur. There's a ton of heroes. Alright then. So Leftovers has a team comp where if anyone gets hit by a Murden stun that is followed up by Thrall or Tehran CC, they just die. And there's no cleanse, because Deckard doesn't have cleanse. And there's no burst healing, because Deckard doesn't have burst healing. So I guess this is just a Dahaka last pick. Not expecting Thrall to be in the offlane, because he can't double soak at all. Could be a Rail, I guess, because she does better against Malthael. Zeratul. Alright, that's fine too. Zeratul can double soak, and he scales a lot better. And that's just more punish for the really squishy backline. So Tempest is in the 4v4, they're stronger. In the 1v1 offlane, they're weaker, but they have the scaling advantage. Neither team has a global advantage, and Tempest has the map hacks advantage. So Leftovers has to be really scared, unless they have a Hanzo Vision Arrow in exactly where they're rotating. Yeah, I don't know why they first picked Hanzo, that's really random too. It's not like he is strong on this map or anything, like does something insane compared to BOB. Because the thing is too, when you first pick Hanzo, he's so much more vulnerable to these, to like a Zeratul and stuff, than a Raynor or a Phoenix or any other ranged DPS is. So now Diablo's Q is down and Tempest starts stepping up really hard. Because there's nothing to punish them. Reason why Alex isn't first pick? She's only good on Infernal Shrines. when she's in dragon form, she's the best support in the game, and when she's not a very good support. She's pretty mediocre. She didn't pick a decent amount on Infernal, but not on other maps at all. Alright, Leftovers has the wave clear advantage, so they're 4-man rotating a little bit. Tempest is 1-1-3, with Thrall holding the mid lane. Alright, now they both 4-man bottom, with their offlaners starting to double soak, at least for now. They even chains you see the sapper so it can't get in. Malthael's winning the double soak rotations. There's an instant cleanse on the Diablo charge, and now he's in way too far. Though they're not focusing him at all. And they had a minion wave, so... What was that? Just a... Oh no, it was a Deckard combo. Raynor should not have gotten hit by that root. He was not CC'd at all. Almost dies because of that. Alright, I mean, Tempest is fine with this. They have the scaling Zeratul. Now that there's no more bottom camps, Thrall goes back mid. Maybe Leftovers can look to force top camp. Not enough time, and Diablo gets found by... So do they scout this rotate? So Murden sees him, and then Murden sees him rotate towards mid lane, and then Diablo ends up face checking into a Thrall, where he gets rooted into a Mura stun, with Zeratul slow on top of him, and Tehran shows up. When do they start collapsing on this? So even right now, the entire team of Tempest is collapsing on this fight. It doesn't matter if you force Malthael in the solo lane, nothing's gonna happen. He's just gonna push it in, and Zeratul's gonna clear the wave at his towers. And Li Ming dies trying to stall this. Oh, she blinked forward. All right. Li Ming blinks forward to try and stall, and that's 100% sacrificing yourself. And Hanzo's dead too. What happened to Hanzo? Zera blinks on him. And the Thrall root blocks his path to jump over this wall, so he tries to dodge it and then jump over this, but he's dead already. Alright. Zeratul isn't out rotating him. Like, he's winning, in the double soak, he's winning more against Zeratul than if it was just one lane. Zeratul's losing a quarter of a wave, or half a wave, total. Whereas if they're just laning like this, then he has to hope that this doesn't get scouted by Tyrande, otherwise Zeratul can still fight him on top of the camp. Yeah, Zeratul just shows up right as he's finishing the camp, and just steals it, and kills him. There's nothing that Malthael can do if it's just a 1v1 in one lane. They'll just both sit there and clear the wave forever. Alright, well, Leftovers is done. Wait, did Li Ming live there or something? Or is her... Oh no, I can't even see it. Yeah, she's dead. Alright, Leftovers is done. Maybe they'll show up in playoffs, but this is over. This is over. And the thing is the solo lane isn't about just running your face, smashing your face into the enemy solo laner, and trying to 1v1 him. All that it's about is clearing the wave. That's the only thing that matters. Does Tehran not have... Oh, she gets... So hold on, where's the Tehran cleanses on this Hanzo ult? I guess she just didn't have the cooldown for a few seconds. But they all get out anyway. That's a Hanzo ult down and a Deckard sleep. Leftovers knocked out of playoffs now? I don't think so. Isn't there a wild card and a Chinese team in either group? Oh, I guess the one has actually gotten a decent number of wins. Yeah, I guess they are out. Never mind. The one has had a bunch of 1-1s. Tehran got stunned? Did she? There's no way that Hanzo ult stunned her. No, she's not CC'd at all. She just doesn't have the cooldown. How is Mind Freak doing? Pretty sure they're 0 and whatever. Yeah, they're 0 and 6. So they're almost guaranteed to be out. What is the one's record? So they had a 1-1 against Leftovers, and they had a 1-1 against Tempest, and then they got their free 2-0 against Mind Freak. So yeah, I guess they're out. They're not going to win one. It's done. Unless they win a game against Leftovers, if Leftovers just GG's out of the tournament. So yeah. Zera's gonna go, yeah, Zera's gonna go back and VP that. What? So here's Leftovers trying to steal the cap. Last ditch attempt. Zeratul level 16 though, so he's just gonna go in Q, get his Vorpal Blade on somebody, blink Wormhole out, go back in Vorpal, Q again, VP, Q again, everybody's dead. Li Ming dies. I mean, that's just Leftovers. Leftovers at every tournament, they scrim very little, and they just play their own meta, whatever they prepared beforehand. Like, at the event, they take it very relaxed, and they don't scrim very much. It's the same thing as it was at Western Clash, same thing as it was at Mid-Season Brawl. And it was successful for them before. But this time it wasn't. Yeah, Kane was just standing in Starfall and Hyperion and then walked into a Rainer while he was on 1/3 HP and died. Didn't even heal himself. Did we help any? No. Octalysis hasn't been scrimming at all after playoffs. We have been on vacation. Alright. Well, I did see the draft for this, so I'm not going to say anything. This is a really interesting early prioritization of Jaina. I guess it's a counterpick to Joe, and also just gives them the really strong wave clear that they want. And then they end up still getting the late pick Garrosh. They do get denied the Blaze. So Heroes Hearth has a Soul Support Abathur comp, and Dignitas has a last pick Hammer, which they've been doing a ton in a lot of these games. And the problem is, like usual, they last pick Hammer when the enemy team has no counter to it, so Hammer just gets to do whatever she wants, and there's no way to win a team fight against her, there's no way to stop her from getting pushed in the early game, you kind of just have to sit there and take it the entire time. Why? I don't know why Jaina is the counter to Joe, but that's why they would pick it this early instead of a different... I mean, they didn't need to early prioritize Tank, because Heroes Hearth already picked theirs, but they could have prioritized Blaze here instead of Jaina. Someone told you Dahaka and Abathur is bad here? I don't like the Dahaka. I don't think the Dahaka does anything. But I guess there's no other offlane to pick, because the enemy team got a Rel. So I don't know. What offlaner do you actually pick? You can't pick there's no way you pick Malthael into this, because he just insta-dies to anything. So you'd have to pick Leoric, which is meh. Like, Abathur has worked in NA a decent amount, but I think a part of the reason for that is just that teams don't actually punish the Abathur in the early game, and don't punish the Abathur in team fights, and they just let the Abathur... Because the thing with Abathur is, he's going to press Q on a hero, and he's going to give them some heals, and do a bit of damage, and that's guaranteed. There's no skill involved with doing that. You don't need a position to do that successfully. Whereas if you're playing a Tracer, or any other DPS hero, or any other hero like that, you actually have to position your hero, and press your buttons properly. And I think that's honestly just... NA's a low skill region, so guaranteed value out of Abathur just beats the inconsistent value from other heroes, from standard heroes. Because I don't think Abathur on this map is good. I think that's just meh. Especially when the enemy team has shown Hammer, especially. Because then you just have no way to counter Hammer. You're never going to win a team fight against a Sergeant Hammer or do anything to it. Yeah, because normally you want Abathur to be double soaking, or just soaking every lane while your team is 4-manning, but that doesn't happen on this map. Especially when the enemy team already has a Jaina, too. That could be another reason why the Jaina was picked, was because they already know that Heroes Hearth was going to pick Abathur. So they do have the Tracer 2v1 in bottom with a hat, pressuring the URL a little bit. But all the push Tracer getting bottom is being matched by Sergeant Hammer mid. And then Jaina and Junkrat are matching each other, so... you can see, like, none of the damage you do to Aurel matters, because she just DQs every 6 seconds, and then there goes a quarter of her health back up. So now Tracer's here to try and pressure the Hammer, I guess, but that's not going to do anything. Back to the 2v1 bottom, when there's a wave pushing into the wall. I mean, this is the advantage you get with an Abathur, is you're off lane. Even though it's a 1v1 and Tracer was mid, Tahaka still clears ahead, because he has a hat, so if Aurel ever tries to fight, she just auto-loses it. But Dignitas, they have a 3v2 or a 4v3 or whatever on the rest of the map, and they're just hitting walls with Hammer the entire time. And normally, like, if there wasn't a Sergeant Hammer and this was a different hero, then Dignitas wouldn't be able to get any siege, because then they're pushing into a Joe and a Junkrat with potential Abathur hats and stuff, and then it would be a lot harder to get any kind of push value. But because they have a Hammer pick, they can still get siege damage into these heroes. Yeah, they did also give away Tehran to Garrosh, Sergeant Hammer. Tracer goes for a gank. Yeah, no, there's... if you don't have a Chromie or a Liming, I guess, you just don't do anything to the Hammer. Any other ranged DPS gets all of their damage healed up by their support, and then you do nothing. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that the number 1 NA seed lost a player right before BlizzCon, but I don't know. Blame the player for that. So Heroes Hearth has not gotten any value so far in the early game. They're even behind because Dignitas has been controlling the turn-ins better. Dignitas' stalls on turn-ins are way better with Tyrande, and even Sergeant Hammer can stall pretty well, whereas Heroes Hearth can't stall nearly as well. When Tracer tries to go up and she gets hit in the face repeatedly, and her only heals is an Abathur hat. And there's Joe just getting pressured super hard. Two heroes just stand there and hit her, because Joe has nobody behind her to actually threaten them. Was Arthalon ever really that good? Not, meh. He wasn't carrying the team or anything, but they actually had played with him for a year before. And, okay, so what happens here? So again, like, what do? You're Heroes Hearth. The enemy team has already got more gems than you, because they were controlling the turns better, and now they have they're actually threatening the turn-in. And I don't think Hero's Hearth even has enough gems. They barely do, but it's split on a bunch of different heroes. So, you're in this situation, you're like, we need to stall this turn-in. Tracer's like, I'm half HP, I can't stall it. Joe's like, I can press E one time, and that's it. And Dahaka says I can't do anything. So Junkrat has to run in, and then there's a Garrosh standing there. And then you're dead. So Zalia's in a really bad spot off of that. But here comes the Hammer with the Hover Siege mode, so as soon as Hammer shows up, I think she was a bit delayed because she was soaking... Yeah, she was just pushing the mid-wave, and then started collapsing, but Hammer's just really slow to rotate. I mean, it's a last pick Sergeant Hammer, what can you do? You either hamstring your draft by picking a counter to Sergeant Hammer, and then they just don't pick it, or you just say, alright, last pick Sergeant Hammer's OP. Blizzard, please. Yeah, Tehran didn't even go the cleanse, she went the spell armor to stop one-shots. So it is 2-for-1 for Hero's Hearth, but they didn't get the turn-in. Dignitas got the turn-in. And Dahaka is top lane. So this is weird. So Dahaka's top, and I'm assuming his dig is down. He just backed and dug top. So, when that happens, Junkrat should not be going to the same lane as Dahaka. Because now you suddenly have your Junkrat and your Dahaka top, and there's nobody bottom, clearing bottom. And that sucks. Two easy kills on solo targets? No, there's no way he killed that Hammer mid, or the Jaina top. There's just not enough damage. Alright then. It's a pretty greedy rotate, but whatever. So your bottom wall's dead, your mid wall's dead, your top wall, I believe, is also dead. Enemy team's getting out of night camp, while your team is on the back foot because Dahaka was dead. So they didn't need to stall turn-ins for a little bit, and now that turn-ins need to be stalled, there's a bunch of camps out. Though they do scout this bottom camp. I think Abathur probably had a mine on it or something. Oh, never mind, they don't get the camp, because Irel sits on it and knocks people off of it, and then Dignitas rotates way ahead. I mean, that's the other thing, is Dig knows that Joe and Junkrat are in their lanes, because they just got pushed in. Joe even had to back, I guess. Joe's just half HP, so I guess she had to back. And Junkrat's top. So they know that neither of them are here. They scouted the Joe back with an owl, so they know that this is a 3v2, 4v2, 5v2, whatever. There goes all your gems. This is level 10 advantage. Hammer's gonna solo siege this while you stall turn-ins or kill people. Sure, just go kill Joe. Yeah, you missed the recall bombs, but if he autoed for a second more, no. The Hammer was going into fog in like a quarter of a second, and he had to reload anyway. And the Hammer had 25 armor. Yeah, just Hammer counters this. Like I said, if Dig didn't have a Hammer for the early game, then Hero's Hearth would have gotten this bottom wall for free, while Dignitas would have just had to keep rotating and wouldn't really be able to do anything. Just a Sergeant Hammer. So this is a dig in. Yeah, this is a dig in instant ISO off of it. And they're diving on Jaina, but she gets ally throwed out. And barely ends up dying. Seems like Garrosh is a bit late to go to that dig. Do they just not hear the dig? Because you can hear the dig. Like right now, they should be able to hear that the dig is finishing right now. And then they should be reacting to this. But Jaina's still standing here trying to turn in, and Garrosh isn't even getting in position to ally throw her out. Okay. That's a good pick on the Jaina, I guess. They still recover all the gems. And Hero's Hearth doesn't have a turn-in, so what can they even do with this kill advantage? They can't do anything. mean, yeah, but their mines are invisible, so... Alright, did they kill a rel here, maybe? Nope, Tyrande marked her. Alright. So, Hero's Hearth gets nothing off of that kill on Jaina. And Dig is going to go back to trying to turn in again. Joe's Unstoppable got forced. They barely don't break it in time, though. Otherwise, she would have been dead for sure. So, turn in versus Knights, and Knights are getting cleared for free. Crowan tries to all-in a Jaina that already has spell armor stacks on her, so that bomb does nothing. And, I mean, even if the Jaina didn't already have spell armor stacks pre-cast on her, it still goes to max stacks off of 2 stacks anyway, just 30 spell armor instantly. Yeah, that was a taunt. So here's a Riptire to clear out the Web Weaver. That's fine. Except it doesn't even hit the Web Weaver, so it doesn't really do much. All the forts are dead. Dahaka died, sure. I mean, the big thing is, wherever Tracer isn't, Dignitas can do whatever they want. And even wherever Tracer is, as long as they have the Tyrande there, or the Garrosh there, Tracer still can't do that much. The rest of these heroes don't do anything. They just sit there and wave clear. Like, these heroes don't do anything to a Garrosh, they don't do anything to an Arel, they don't do anything to Sergeant Hammer. Garrosh just throws, and then that's a throw cooldown traded for a Joe Unstoppable. So now Joe's useless. She can't walk up or do anything for the next 20 seconds. Oh. Look, you walked up and tried to do something in the next 20 seconds, you got minus 15 armored and chain CC'd by a Tyrande. Jaina wasn't even there. Yeah, Tyrande's ridiculous. If there weren't other really strong support substitutes for Tyrande, then she would be permabanned. But because you can at least be okay in the support matchup with a Deckard or a Malf or a White Mane or something, there are other priorities like Maiev and Genji, and like tanks, because there's only 2 good tanks. Oh yeah. So here's a turn-in with the boss. Time the boss cap so it spawns at the same time as the turn-in, gets to here at the same time, so that one of them isn't taking damage while the other one isn't doing damage. There's a Junkrat clone, but that is not enough. Oh, Joe died. Oh, well, would you look at that? Is her Unstoppable on cooldown or something? No? She just does an Unstoppable before she goes in melee of Garrosh? Well, that's a crime. You can't walk in melee of Garrosh. Oh no, we got instantly killed. That's hilarious. Look, she has an Unstoppable shield for a quarter of a second, and then it's gone. Neat. Oh, this game is done. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure when Heroes Hearth has run that comp before against NA teams, they fall. Basically what happens is Heroes Hearth wins the early game because they have the Tracer split pushing bottom lane, and the other team doesn't get any value in the other lanes. And then Heroes Hearth gets the first turn-in because they're just better players, and then they snowball off of that. I don't think that comp can win team fights once it goes later game, and I don't think that team comp does anything once it goes past the early game. What kills it? There's like an Arel jump and some other stuff, like some Jaina spells. Murden not good. I mean, he's mediocre. He's fine. But Garrosh and Diablo are just broken. Haven't seen them take that comp. They always take Joe with that comp on Tomb. They super high prioritize Joe on Tomb, just in general. But Dig punished the Joe, because she had no threat on Dignitas's backline, and then whenever she walked close to Garrosh, she got killed. Yeah, not with the Haka, though. They would normally get an Arel themselves, or a Blaze. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is that a support being broken in Hero League, you're not even going to use it properly. Tyrandes in Hero League don't even take the cleanse at level 1, and even if they do, they don't have no idea how to use it. what assassins are broken, Genji, Maiev are the two big ones. Because they've been 100% pick ban the entire tournament so far. So there's a monk. And there's a Brightwing. Abathur was banned this time, so they're running Brightwing as a substitute for the Abathur to be able to global soak and then be there for the fights. Zeratul and Raynor aren't really broken. They actually are, like, whatever. So Dig has a bunch of tanky heroes. They have a monk who is, I don't know, he has 7s to hit Diablo, I guess. Or Palm. And this is definitely a better map for monk because D-Shire is a map that's not about 5v5s, it's a lot more about 2v2s and 3v3s, and monk is a lot better in those kinds of fights, where he can actually deal damage without just getting one shot. Raynor's broken if you're talking about his animations. Yeah, I don't know why their melee animation is a different attack speed than his ranged animation. Yeah, they have Breath Salvo, and Dig doesn't actually have real answers to it, but Dig's just not going to 5v5. Which is, I guess that is weird. Where Heroes Hearth has 2 globals, but then they also should have the teamfight advantage. But Dig and Toss has way better pickoff potential with Maiev and Muradin, whereas Heroes Hearth only engaged tools are Valera and Dahaka Digs. Yeah, no Mal'Ganis in this tournament. Air Ally? Air Ally's not a... I mean, this was the last pick Valera, first of all, and second of all, Air Ally is not even that great. Melee animation is slower for Raynor, from what I saw on Reddit. The big thing, the reason why Maev's, or one of the reasons why Maev is so broken is that she has lane control over wherever she feels like being. So basically what's going to happen is Maiev sits mid, and she can clear mid ahead of anyone on Heroes Hearth, and if anyone on Heroes Hearth tries to clear mid at the same time, she just goes on them and they die. And then after she clears mid, she rotates. And she clears mid so fast that by the time she rotates, you haven't even started clearing the wave. So she always has pressure in the other lanes after clearing mid. What would I like instead of Valera here? I don't know. Zeratul is banned, so... It's fine. Valera. She can do things. She doesn't have a great matchup into Monk, though, because Monk can punish her as a support. Because the big thing is when a Valera goes in on somebody, you just have to hit her back and do a ton of damage back to the Valera. And here they scout the Valera, who's really far up. And she's... So he actually messes up his Q here, where he blinks to the Muradin, but he Qs into the wall, so his Q doesn't go full distance. Because the thing is his Valera silence is 2.25. So so the Muradin's still silent. So he has the time here to walk around the wall to make sure his Q goes full distance. But instead he gets a really short Q here. Blizz decide, yeah, I have no idea why they buffed Maev's wave clear so much. It's ridiculous. She was already a specialist, basically, and then they made her even more of a specialist. So there's a Brightwing TP, uses the cleanse. There's a tongue that's blocked by Monk. That's nice, so they stop the chain CC, because Diablo charges, and this is stacked too. So Heroes Hearth stacks a lot of CC here, where Diablo charges in on the Raynor at the same time that a Poly goes on him. So that CC is stacked, and then when Dahaka tries to tongue to follow up, Monk actually blocks it, which keeps Raynor alive. So in the end of it, nobody wins anything. Well, no, Dignitas wins because they got Brightwing's Cleanse and Brightwing's TP. So that's pretty good for Dignitas. This is going to be another game, though. The other thing, too, that Dignitas has an advantage is all of their heroes, other than Raynor, are really high mobility and really safe. So they can run around pretty freely, as long as they see a few heroes from Heroes Hearth, whereas Heroes Hearth's heroes, Brightwing can't rotate, Diablo can't rotate that easily, Phoenix can't rotate that easily. Their only heroes that can rotate are Valera, and like the Hawk can't rotate either. If they walk into heroes, they just get chased down forever. Yeah, another team taking Poly at 1. I don't know. Seems weird. So Valera's just camping top right now. But Valera before level 7 doesn't really do damage. It is pretty sad how much she needs the level 4 and level 7 talents to be effective. So, and there's no way she can contest against Maiev when they just instantly cleared this wave and then rotate bottom. So, nothing better to be doing than just going here and doing nothing anyway. Yeah, Genji's still ridiculous. He just has too many things that he does, including wave clear. So at this point, Dignitas just has a 3-man mid. Maiev clears the wave by herself, so there isn't even information given where Monk and Muradin are, and then they can rotate out of the lanes to go do other stuff. And then Raynor can hold bottom, Irel can hold top, and even though they're getting 2v1, there's no way to push into them, because there's always this 3-man rotation from mid that can gank you if you try to push up to the wall. And now with this pressure, Hero's Hearth doesn't have map hacks, they don't know where Dignitas are, so they can't do anything risky. So from them being in fog, Dignitas gets a free night camp. And that's another thing Maev's broken at, is that she is the best camp clear hero in the game with this level 1 talent. It is ridiculous. You could say, well, why doesn't Hero's Hearth get both these caps if they're 2v1 in the lanes? The problem is, Dignitas can still leave one hero here to stall while they rotate someone, 1 or 2 people up to the 1 lane to get the cap back. If your ganker can't get a kill, what should he do? I mean, depends what else you could do. The problem is just that Irel top is unkillable, but then Raynor bottom is unkillable, and then there's a disgusting 3-man mid that he also can't do anything to, so there's nothing for him to do. Maybe you could try and do a Merc camp, but you're not going to do a Merc camp nearly as quickly as a Maiev. So Dig just end up getting out this camp after pushing out mid again. So there's a hero stuck mid soaking. And then they push top with this camp. And I don't know, Hero's Hearth could probably use a Brightwing TP to help defend this, but that's again committing a pretty big cooldown. And Brightwing wouldn't even defend this that well. Because, I mean, what can the Valera do? If she goes bottom, Raynor's sitting under his gate the entire time. She can try and counter gank something, maybe, if Hero's Hearth baits something. But other than that, I don't know. Raynor even has self-sustain, so he doesn't even need a support to come down to help him. So now Valera is level 7. She can finally try and gank Irel, because now she does significant damage to the Irel. Yeah, I would like the game to be fair and fun. Balance. Get to 10 in scale. Yeah, I mean, Diablo is pretty weak in the early game, but I don't know if Diablo ever gets strong later on, because if Dignitas keeps this kind of setup, where they're always spread out on the map, and Diablo can't get into a 5v5 fight, and instead is getting 2v1 or 3v1, then he's always going to have issues. But you can see here, if we go back, how much more damage Valera does to Irel now. Irel walks into the Valera, and Valera actually takes her to half HP really quickly. Tommy, yeah, that's fine. Both of the talents are pretty equal in terms of damage. But like always, there's a Maiev walking up mid, clearing the wave instantly, and then rotating somewhere. Valera missed her Q. And if you miss your Q as Valera, you have no damage, so you just have to back up. Alright, well this is bad. Okay, the Tether didn't proc. That is a bit fortunate. Alright. And I mean, again, like you can just see. So this wave is instantly cleared. Every single time any kind of a fight happens in the side lane, Dignitas will get there first with their 3 men. So this is just what you can expect. You can't fight the Raynor because there's just going to be 3 heroes that just show up and gank you. And the Murden stun misses, so Hami actually gets to blink out, but I don't know, it doesn't matter. Diablo is so much later. Valeera is so much later because she has to rotate all the way around here, even though she started rotating a bit sooner. I don't know, Hami's... I don't know, because the thing is, too, is... There's no way he's killing this Raynor. Like, Raynor could have walked behind his gate and never died. But he's staying a bit longer to bait. But that's all Dignitas needed, and now they're ahead by a full level, and the game should just be over. Because this is also a DK, so it's more than a level lead. Oh, and they killed Dahaka, too. Dahaka digs in so late here. It looks like his dig got stalled. He just couldn't dig when this fight started. Yeah, right now he tries to dig and gets interrupted by RL. And then he tries to dig again when it comes off cooldown. And by now his team already got 4 men. It's a 5-man wipe, and the game's over. 2 level lead. And every single fort will die. Oh, Brightwing even dies. So what is this? One thing that is good about Valeera, she does a ton of DPS to a DK if it can't fight back against her. Okay. Oh. Brightwing just TPs in to die instantly. And now Valeera's dead. She doesn't have her ult. And she walks back into the reveal. Doesn't matter. She's dead. And now Dig has a 2-level lead. Almost a 3-level lead. Alright. Hero's Hearth. Did they scout this? So they see Dig pushing the wall, and then Dignitas suddenly backs off, and you can even, yeah, they even see them walking down here. So Hero's Hearth knows that Dig started this camp, and they're going to fight it before Dig gets level 13. So, seems like the Dahaka dig is really early here, though. Because the thing is, so this Dahaka dig starts, and he's 1v3. So he's going to eat a ton of damage before the rest of his team even gets here, because there's no Brightwing TP on top of him yet. So as you can see, before anything else even happens, Mac is half HP, because his dig finished too early. Yeah, Dig knows they're coming, too. Dig sees, like, right here. Diablo just leaves this wave and doesn't even soak it, and then runs past Murden. So they know that Dig also knows that they're coming, and Arella's already starting her collapse on this, too. So Dahaka's already half HP and blows all his essence. So this fight basically starts with a 0 essence Dahaka. If he's too late and they cap bruisers, yeah. I mean, that is the line where... I don't know. I mean, that's just... You're just in a bad spot because you're down 2 levels and a bunch of buildings. And it is a Palm Monk. It might have been 7s if they were not so far ahead, but if you're already so far ahead, you can just take Palm to make sure that you don't give away deaths. Yeah, Murden stopped. He even did a lot of damage to Diablo. Murden blocked Diablo a lot. Any process for the HGC teams to communicate with Blizz devs about the game balance issues, we can send them an email. We have an HGC email address that we can send them emails at. That may or may not be read. So then... And then Hami comes in, gets an ult down with his slows. And there is... Is this just a tongue? Where's the Raynor interrupt? Why is Raynor so late? Is his Q on cooldown? So there's his Q. Okay, his Q's on cooldown. So Raynor doesn't have a Q to interrupt the tongue instantly. So the tongue gets a bit of duration before it's interrupted. And then Monk palms himself. Dahaka, if he had full essence here, this fight's pretty winnable. Because then you have full essence Dahaka on the point, you've got a Lightning Breath Diablo on the point, and then the rest of your team needs to deal with his Murden on the back line. Which is possible, but if your Dahaka's already dead, even though you killed the Monk, then suddenly this Murden can't be dealt with. Yeah, this... Imagine if Dahaka delayed his dig by like 2 seconds. This actually is a 1 fight for Hero's Hearth. Does Crowan miss his Q? Hold on. Oh, I think he missed his Q there. So he actually does no damage anymore. And then Arel and Murden clean up the fight. Yeah, they... I mean, I haven't been at any of the summits, but from what other pro players have told me, the summits also don't really achieve much. There's a lot of stuff that pro players tell them at the summits, and that is also not listened to or really used. Realistically, yeah, but there can be certain margins of balance where if you say the average hero is a 1 and a broken and then like it's okay if stuff is like a 1.2 or a 1.3 maybe. That's fine. But if stuff is literally just a 1.5 or 1.7 or even higher than that, that's pretty ridiculous. That needs to be dealt with. And same thing with the other way. If the average hero is a 1, then fine, you can have some 0.7s or 0.8s. But you can't have an 0.5. You can't have an 0.3. You can't have Sylvanas. Sylvanas should not be the way she is. That hero is unplayable. Same with like Medic. Same with like Anna. Maybe not Anna. Maybe not Anna. But Medic and like Sylvanas, those heroes should not be complete jokes. Those should not be heroes that are literally a third of a real hero. Or less. It shouldn't be like you're playing X's and O's, and then the X's player just gets to put 2 X's on a board at a time. Murky? This is actually, I don't know if this is, I mean, this isn't confidential, so I'm going to say it. But basically, Blizzard does have a balance philosophy where they actually don't want specific heroes to be viable and competitive. Where there are some heroes that they intend to be more joke, more casual heroes, and they don't want them to be competitively viable. Because if they are competitively viable, then they are pretty cancerous. And one of those heroes is Murky, and probably like Gazlowe is another hero like that. And Probius too. They said that before? Okay, yeah, so. In case anyone didn't know about that. Murky is intentionally kept terrible, because they don't want to be viable and competitive. The most well-known game in competitive has Murky? What do you mean? Oh, you mean just Cloud9. Oh, yeah. At this point, the game should just be over. Like, a 3-level lead is impossible to fight into. You can see how much damage Monk does just by dashing and punching a few times. Why Abathur is not among the terrible heroes? I don't know. But this should just be a keep. McIntyre comes in again, but again, he's really far. He's coming in really far ahead of the rest of his team. Valera's not even here with him. The rest of his team's getting blocked out by the DK. I mean, there's just a lightning breath that hits nothing. That's actually pretty bad. But he's just eating free damage. It doesn't matter that you ISO'd the Rainer, there's no follow-up. So, again, this is another fight where Dahaka is starting the fight at half HP. And then dies. Did he use all his essence already? He starts the fight half HP with no essence, basically. Like, he's just dead. Rainer just right-clicks him, and then he dies. Why every hero has to be HCC viable? They don't, but they shouldn't be just completely terrible and left there in the dumpster for years. Yeah, I think Murky would be fine if you saw him 1 in every 100 games. But if you saw Murky every single game, like you see Maiev picked or banned every single game, or Genji picked and banned every single game, or Tyrande picked and banned every single game, that would be absolute cancer. That would be even worse than the way it is right now, with those heroes being 100% pick and ban. So this game came down to 2 fights. There was one collapse bottom, where Phoenix overextended, and then they got a 5-0 with a DK, and then there was the fight on the bottom night camp, where Dahaka went in a little bit too early, and then that swung the fight enough. Because that was, Phoenix got a really big ult on 3 people with his Q slow on them, so it did the bonus damage, and Dahaka got a lot of CC out, and that fight was pretty decent, and they got a good lightning breath, but that wasn't enough because they're down 2 levels, and Dahaka was down all of his essence. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you should be able to basically, let me pull up, like, paint. So basically, I should be able to say, let's say, like, there's picks 1 to 5. So each team has 5 picks. So 1, 2, this is terrible. Alright, so basically what I want to say is you should be able to put together a situation where if you decide the map and you decide all 9 other heroes that each team has, you should be able to say this hero is viable in this situation. At the very minimum, you should be able to theoretically craft a situation where this hero is viable, a reasonable situation. You should be able to say, the enemy team has Abathur Lost Vikings. Alright, I want to pick Sylvanas here, and it's on Cursed Hollow or something. Or Infernal Shrines, I don't know. The enemy team is that, and I want to pick Sylvanas here. Okay, that's a viable situation. That's a good situation to pick the hero. And then you also want to be able to say, you don't want to be able to say that I would pick Sylvanas here, but Raynor is still just better anyway. Because that's also terrible, where one hero is just strictly better than the other, even if it's in the perfect situation for the weaker hero. That's what I... yeah. Because if one hero is just better than the rest of the heroes, and there's no reason to pick other heroes, then you just play that one hero. Let's see, if I refresh right now, do I get the, preview? Nice, I do. Alright, there's a last pick Sergeant Hammer. Let's see if they play it well. Nope. They're getting dumpstered. And there is a Nillidan. 4 kills to 0? Alright. Yeah, the only reason you would pick Kael'thas over Janna is for the stun, but that's not good enough, because he has so much lower burst damage, he has so much lower DPS. His wave clear is weaker, he has more mana issues, it's like a lot of stuff. He has a weaker defensive ability with his mana barrier compared to her ice block. Yeah, his model size is bigger, which is a pretty big drawback. And here the game ends. Phoenix gets a 5-man ult, everybody dies, double boss pushing into your core. Alright, cool. Glad that's done with. Li Ming best mage? Yeah, probably, right now. Unless you count Hanzo as a mage, because he kind of is. Alright. Second ban Medivh. That's a Garrosh ban, so could be looking for Diablo first pick. This is Volskaya. For some reason, teams have prioritized Deckard a lot on this map. There's Tehran ban, so yeah, probably Diablo first pick. Oh no, Maev's up. That's Maev first pick, 100%. Unless they can't play it. What percent of heroes are played in pro games? I mean, are you saying above like a 20% pick and ban rate or something? Yeah, Li Ming gets dumpstered by Diablo. And by like stuff like Arthas too. Alright, so Liquid intentionally gives away the Maev, intending to trade it for probably Diablo and maybe Deckard. Maybe even... no, probably not Blaze. Okay. Yeah, Orianna's a cool hero in League. And she's been really balanced the entire time. And that is a really early Malthael, but that's standard Tempo Storm. Pretty much every single game they're against a Diablo, they pick Malthael as a counter pick. Yeah, when you compare it to Dota, like the International that was just recently, they have such a high pick rate of heroes. There's very few heroes in Dota at any point in the meta that are completely unplayable and completely unpicked and competitive. Like, a few. Less than 5 in pretty much every single meta game. Compared to in HOTS, there's always at least 20 unplayable heroes or something like that. And that sucks too, because HOTS is the way smaller roster, like half the size of the hero roster. So there's Mouthban. So supports that are left up, White Mane, and that's it, I guess. And Blaze was banned, so Blazeban, he is good against the Malthael last rites, and he's good against my Evan Gauge, but this does still mean that Liquid gets Irrel. They don't even need to, okay, they go Arthas. That's kind of surprising that they would go Arthas. The Phoenix makes sense, because now there's no threat of Tempo Storm having a counter to the Phoenix Diablo Lightning Breath combo. So Tempo needs a support. It's probably just White Mane. Her ult actually does decently as a counter to the Phoenix Diablo. Stukov. Alright then. So Stukov has the good follow-up on my Evan Gauges, but they have this main tank Uther who doesn't do anything. Because if Uther wants to engage, he walks at people. So Maiev has to be the one going for engages. There's no other CC outside the Maiev, and if the Maiev is being dealt with or can't find a target, especially when there aren't very many good targets, because Phoenix can eat out of her engage, and now there's Li Ming, so Team Liquid has no targets for Maiev to engage on other than the Deckard. So as long as Deckard's playing safe, Maiev tries to go on somebody else, they unstoppable it, they armor it, they blink out of it, they blink out of it. Even if they're stuck in a Stukov silence for a while, they're not going to die very quickly. And even if they do die, that is everything from Tempo Storm focused on one person, while there's a Lightning Breath going on, there's a Phoenix Ult going on, there's a ton of Li Ming damage happening, and Arthas is sitting on top of them. And there could be even a Deckard Tornado or a Sleep or something. No, I don't think Cattle talked to Justing about main tank Uther stuff. Yeah, that's the same ordinary K, that's the same thing that Justing said, where he just feels like regular main tanks aren't that good, but I don't know. I feel like Diablo and Garrosh are definitely worth playing as main tanks. I can see, like, after Diablo and Garrosh, where you have, like, a Muradin or a Joe or a Nubrak as heroes like that, at that point I can see saying, alright, I'd rather play a different hero rather than those heroes as main tank. But I feel like if there's a Diablo or Garrosh available, just pick those heroes. They're insane. So, the other thing is you say, oh, they've got double support, they can sustain, but Uther has 0 sustain healing. If Uther tries to heal any poke, he runs out of mana, and he runs out of cooldowns, and then he's useless. So, all that Uther does is he sits behind somebody else, gives them a cleanse, gives them a D-shield, gives them some armor. That's what the Uther does as a main tank. He can't walk in and be a frontline, because if he's sitting there in the front line, he's eating stuff for free, and he has no threat. And that's a big thing, where if there's a Diablo standing near you, you're like, oh, he might charge me, that's kind of scary. But if there's an Uther standing near you, you're like, oh, he doesn't do anything, let's hit him for free. And, like, that's... Phoenix is just going to sit there and hit him for free. Yeah, pro players aren't playing for your entertainment. If you want to see people playing for your entertainment, then go watch a random streamer. I mean, you watch professional players for the competitive aspect of the game. You don't watch them for show. Should they ban Diablo Garrosh? Yeah, but then they don't ban Genji. So... yeah, I mean, Arthas seems fine. I think Irrel would do the same thing here. But Arthas is fine. The upside of Irrel is that she doesn't care as much about Malthael's heal reduction, even though Glamour never takes that talent, and she also doesn't care about last rites, whereas Arthas can actually potentially die to that if he gets bursted and silenced. Can't he use Holy Shock every 6 seconds? That's such a tiny amount of healing on himself. Yeah, Uther is there's definitely a theoretical draft where you choose the 9 other heroes, you say Uther's good here. That is possible. But it's also possible to say, sure, Uther's good here, but then you also say, yeah, but why not just take a Tyrande? And I don't know, there's no reason not to take a Tyrande over an Uther in any situation. She is just strictly better. She has better burst healing. She has better mana efficiency, she has better sustain healing, she's tankier than Uther. She has vision control, she has better CC, she has better damage, I mean, she's better mana efficiency, she's ranged. It's just, even if there is a perfect situation to pick Uther, you would rather pick Tyrande in that situation. So there's no point to pick Uther, other than as a main tank, I guess. If there's a situation for that, it's good. probably not even on camera right now. Let me move over a bit. There we go. So Liquid starting in their lanes. Can't contest Maev's wave clear at all. She's just insane. Liquid might be setting up for an early health pack camp because they are 2v1ing the bottom lane. Phoenix is actually hidden for the entire time. So yeah, Glau's probably going to feed into this. Yeah, Uther definitely needs buffs. Because every single 2018 support has been insanely strong, and Uther is a 2016 support. Okay, so yeah, Team Liquid's setting up for the health pack, it looks like, because they just showed here to start fast clearing this. Maybe not. Okay, no, they're just fast clearing to set up for turret. Okay. No, they were doing health pack. Okay. They started this health pack so slow, though, because this is weird. So they're fast clearing the wave here. I guess they have to catch mid, that's the problem. Is because Maiev cleared ahead of them, they had to catch the wave before they could even start the health pack, and that should give Tempo Storm enough time to actually contest this. Because they scouted it. Actually, they still can't. It still dies so quickly. Oh, Cal's just suiciding. And he got knocked off the point. Can they pick up the health packs, maybe? Oh yeah, he picked it up and dropped it. Okay. I mean, that's a big experience advantage for Team Liquid, still, because the health pack's worth a ton of experience, and the Uther is worth some experience, but it's better than them having a health pack at the start, I guess. Yeah, fix Uther's mana problems. I mean, the thing is, if you're gonna make every single support in 2018, other than Deckard, after a bunch of mana cost nerfs, just doesn't use mana. Mana is not, they never run out of mana. So either what you do is you make those heroes actually run out of mana, or you make Uther not run out of mana too. Because either you want mana to be a mechanic in your game, and actually be a real thing that players have to think about while they're playing their heroes, or you don't. Don't have some heroes just not have mana bars, and like have fake mana bars that don't actually mean anything. Because that's just ridiculous. They use turret too? Oh, okay, yeah, that's really bad for Tempo then. Because they're just down half a level, and they're going to be down a turret now. So that's actually pretty bad. Yeah, Uther's heals are tiny. I did this yesterday on the stream. We looked up the scaling stats. Taron's 2 Qs heals for more than Uther's QW. She just does. And that's ridiculous. That is just dumb. Yeah, I mean, the stun isn't useful. It's a melee range stun. It's way worse than any other CC that other supports have. I would rather have a Rhaegar Totem than an Uther stun. Winning team's mistakes? Yeah. Gleaming actually went W cool introduction, which is interesting. I mean, any hero that dives in, that is actually good in the meta, has a way to just stay out of melee range of the Uther. That's a good silence by Stukov. So Tempo's actually, if we see the setup for this, Tempo decides to actually siege with this camp, and Team Liquid even knows about this, but they don't rotate that quickly to defend it, so they actually lose. Oh no, this wall's already really damaged from something. Must just be from waves pushing into or something. So Tempo tries to siege here, but Team Liquid does defend it. Mostly. Alright. So yeah, Tempo pushes here, Team Liquid leaves one person on the point, and defends with 3 other heroes. Tempo gets a tower out of it, and that's it. And the issue now for Tempo is that what's going to happen is, because Team Liquid already has an experience advantage and a percent advantage, when Team Liquid gets their level 7 timing, it's going to be very hard for Tempo Storm to deal with that, because Team Liquid might reach the point, especially because Tempo Storm still has to push them off of the point. By the time, let's say this fight goes in Tempo Storm's favor, and Team Liquid is chunked out, they back off. By that time during the entire fight, Team Liquid is at least at 50% or more, and then Team Liquid backs off, soaks their lanes, gets level 7, comes back, Tempo Storm can't fight down a talent tier, and leaves, and then Team Liquid gets the rest of the percent. And that's going to be really hard for Tempo Storm to deal with, because they took that trade. But it did catch them up. Well, it didn't even catch them up in experience, because they didn't even finish off the tower. So it's actually really bad for Tempo Storm. If they got that tower, they'd be at least like here, and be a bit closer to 7. Supports don't impact the game consistently. They do, it's just by pressing their heal button repeatedly. Like, that's the thing that's funny, is in 2017, supports had their big impact plays with a high cooldown cleanse, or a high cooldown ultimate. And now, the supports' big impact plays are just holding down their Q button, and just putting out constant heals. Deckard does that, Tehran does that, Whiteman does that. They all do that. Malf does that. There's no big impact plays that supports make. There's not even clutch heals, because their cooldowns are so low. It's just, did you sit there and hold down your heal button? If you did, good job. Diablo's in a really bad spot here. Looks like he should just be dead. Okay. And the turret's down. So that's pretty good for Tempo, where Team Liquid engages on them. They even see the entire team of Tempo, and Phoenix is top. So Liquid chooses to engage in a 4v5, and then dies. Okay. And then they even blow their turret. So now their experience advantage is gone, their turret advantage is gone, and now their only advantage they have left is the percent advantage. Did he walk into the belt? He gets knocked by a Raynor Q, and then I think he's stuck on top of it. Oh no, he does walk into it. I think he's trying to escape this direction, but then the Malthael W blocks him. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I feel like it's more interesting that rather than have a heal bot that doesn't do anything else, to have supports that have healing as part of their power, but then also do other things that are interesting. Because healing your teammates doesn't require any interaction with the enemy team. Like Whitemane, like theoretically, Whitemane's kit is designed to need to do damage to the enemy heroes to be able to heal. But in reality, she takes the level 1 talent so she can double your teammates, and then she doesn't need to touch an enemy hero the entire game, and she does a full healing. Same thing with, like, Tehran. She's supposed to be hitting heroes to get her heals back, but instead she just sits there and auto-attacks a minion wave, and she gets full healing. So yeah, you can't give supports wave clear. That was a big issue. That was why 2017 was so ridiculous. Look, there's Uther just eating free damage because he can't do anything about it. And Liquid even... How did Liquid get control of the point back? It's just when Tempo goes to soak? Yeah, so Tempo is split soaking and Team Liquid just pushes them back off the point. So now Tempo's under pressure to push them to fight. Tempo just has to take a fight now. There isn't... I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much poke versus how much sustain healing is balanced, but right now it's ridiculously imbalanced because poke just doesn't matter. The only reason to even try to poke is to try and run the enemy support out of mana, and that doesn't even work on most supports now. So now Tempo pushes up, they have a turret advantage because they capped theirs earlier. Does Maiev really not tether them on top of this? Where are their cooldowns? Because they get a good Stukov combo here, but Maiev goes in so late. Is her E really on cooldown this long? Fan... Oh, there's his E. Okay. So his E is on cooldown, so he can't actually engage. Because, I mean, this is bad by Team Liquid, that they're in... They get 3-man Stukov slowed, and then get hit by a ton of AoE damage, but Maiev isn't in range to punish it because her E is on cooldown. And Raynor dies on the side. Okay. And that's gonna make Tempo lose this fight instead of win it. Bad W by Glau there. Which one? Like the one right here to just go in right away? I think that's fine because it keeps Arthas stuck on the silence field for longer. And he gets a lot of damage out. I think that's fine. But also partly is because... Where are the Leeming spells? Yeah, I mean, the big thing is just that Phoenix isn't in position to punish him with any damage. I mean, that is Malthael, where he's sitting on top of an Arthas and a Diablo, so he's healing a ton. But that fight should have gone a lot better for Tempo Storm with how it started. Just in terms of Maiev keeping people on top of a Stukov combo. Yeah, that's the best player in the world. Dodging Deckard Root, the Rainer. The Rainer just eats a Leeming combo to the face. No, I'm saying the Maiev shouldn't have wasted her E, so she could E into this. Yeah, she had to dodge the Deckard Root because she didn't have cooldowns. I mean, she could have even just jumped over the Deckard Root with her D. Because this engage is so strong, if she just goes in on this and tethers the Arthas on top of the silence, they 100% win the fight. Impossible to lose. But instead, they get to escape from what should be an auto-loss fight when Stukov hits a 3-man slow into a combo on somebody. And that's a Tree Glove. If Rainer used his E there, it's probably on cooldown already. Oh, he doesn't even get his E off. Alright, his E's off cooldown too. So mid wall dies immediately. And then the Tree Glove is staying mid. Just because it's killing heroes, or why is it still mid? Guess the Tree Glove just stays mid because it's killing heroes. Sure. Alright, well that's almost a 2-level lead, and a health pack advantage. And they try to invade this turret, but that's not going to work. Stukov's silence field isn't even that good, though Arthas still steps off the point. But it doesn't matter, because you can't pick up the turret. Oh no, Fan did pick up the turret. I mean, alright. Sure, they managed to steal the turret, which is pretty decent. Only losing Malthael for it. But they're still down 2 levels, now they lose their turret. Or not, they're going to fight it, 4v5. Okay. Let's see the Maiev tether on the point, keep them in the silence field. Okay. Phoenix gets caught. What is Phoenix doing? So the big thing here for Team Liquid is they know that Stukov is going to put a silence field down on the point, and they need to have an answer for that. Whether that's like a Deckard Tornado, which they don't have, it's on cooldown, or a Leeming Wave of Force, and if they can't do that, they need to pick up the turret and get out. And they kind of just stand there, and Phoenix walks in to a Maiev tether, and then gets stuck in the cage and just dies. I mean, this is the kind of fight that Tempo Storm wants, where heroes are stuck on top of the silence field, Maiev keeps them there, and then they die. The auto attack talent level 1 on Maiev? I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty... And that actually gives them the health pack. Wow, alright. There goes most of Team Liquid's lead. Good thing you have so many different advantages after first Tree Glove that it doesn't even matter. They're still ahead on experience. They're still ahead by an entire fort here, and well, for the second Tree Glove spawn. And they're only behind by a health pack? Both teams are at least 13, so Tempo Storm can try and fight. Alright, well, Tempo Storm gets a 13 versus 13 fight that they never should have gotten. Tempo decides to push mid, kind of. I guess they get the gate, sure. It doesn't really matter. Like, none of that matters. All that matters is the next Tree Glove. Because if Team Liquid gets it, they go and either they push down this keep and it dies, or they go and push this bottom fort and this keep wall. And then they're ahead by 2 levels again. The game should have been over off the first Tree Glove, but if you manage to mess it up, you still get a second Tree Glove fight where you're still heavily advantaged, so... Alright, self-D-shield on the Uther. And what is happening? So, Tempo Storm says, let's step up onto the point. And Malthael's on the point. And then for some reason, Team Liquid walks at them and Tempo Storm says, okay, let's run away. Except that Malthael is still on the point. So now, suddenly, everyone's just running away. And nobody's doing any damage. So basically this entire fight, and Maev's not even here. That's why they're running away. But I don't know why Maev's there. Why is Maev mid while they're standing on the point in the first place? Did they get baited? There's nobody... Team Liquid never showed anybody here. I think Maev even saw this Arthas flank. Maev saw this Arthas flank. And they walk up onto the point, and Maev is soaking mid. Yeah, he got a 5... He rolled his face on the keyboard while he was 2 levels ahead, and the enemy team couldn't fight back. Sure. So then you end up getting engaged on, and then your Uther self-D-shields. He does cleanse the Malthael, but the Malthael's the one that's getting focused anyway, not the Uther. Malthael does have his 50 spell armor. But this entire time, nobody's hitting... Look at Team Liquid's health bars. There's no damage being done to them. Literal 0. Raynor hasn't auto-attacked once. The only damage that's been done is Malthael Qs. And now they finally start doing damage back. Team Liquid actually wastes their turret too. Does Tempo even use a turret here? Do they not have one? Oh, Fan has it, okay. Oh, Fan uses his too, so the turrets trade. So, I mean, I guess they baited all of Liquid's ultimates. Except they used all of theirs too. Except Cage and Last Rites. I don't know. And now Team Liquid's going to go force the health pack camp. I don't like this by Team Liquid. This is a much worse place to fight for them against a Stukov and a Maev compared to on the point. I think they just shouldn't even do this. I think Tempo Storm should be the team that's forcing this rather than Team Liquid. I think if you're Tempo, you're happy to be fighting here in this much more enclosed area where your Stukov silence gets guaranteed value. Or you can just pick off the Arthas when he walks into you. Nope. Is Maev just not going to go on that? Just go on the Arthas. He's so far out of position. His team's on the health pack camp. Just E on the... He's looking for like 3-man E's on like people that can dodge it anyway instead of going for the one person that's isolated. And he can keep on a silence field. The fight is good if you have Brett. Yeah, they're also down ultimates. If they have the ultimates, then that's fine. And they just... Alright, so Tempo just gave away this health pack fight that would have been favored in them. And didn't punish the Arthas who was split. And then just sat there and gave away a health pack now. So now their health pack advantage is gone. Alright, now what? Oh, you gave the enemy team enough time to get Salvo Lightning Breath back up. Ah, I see. That was the plan. Was to do nothing while the enemy team has all their ultimates on cooldown, give them a health pack for free, and then engage finally when they have their ultimates back off cooldown. That is the plan here. Great plan. And this time Uther doesn't self-D-shield? I don't know. Yeah, it is a lot easier to catch this stuff when you're not in the middle of playing, but simple macro stuff like don't step up as 4 onto the point while you have somebody split soaking is basic. And like the enemy team just used all their ultimates and tried to fight you, and then you got away, and then you just do nothing while they get their ultimates back off cooldown, while you have 2 ultimates available. I mean, like, I could say, like, obviously the Raynor eating a full Leeming combo is bad. And, like, obviously I don't know, something is bad. Sure. But alright, he gets a catch onto the Leeming, but she just blinks away after the tether ends, and gets a gigantic shield from the Tree Glove. Yeah, I'm NA. Something equals draft. I think Tempo's draft can win. I think they should have won the first point, probably. Because I feel like Tempo's comp should be the one that's forcing the health pack at 1 minute. And Tempo's comp should be the one that's winning the early game fights, because they have the Maiev Stukov, and Malthael is very hard to kill before Team Liquid gets ultimates. But none of that happened. And then even when Team Liquid threw away their lead by trying to invade this turret camp against a Stukov. See, like, this is all that Fan needs to be doing, is let Stukov hit a combo, or him find an engage, and then keep them in the combo. And then hope that your Malthael is following up on it. But they're split focus. Is there no D-shield for this? Because imagine if all the Malthael damage is on top of these 2 heroes, then they're both going to die. But they're split focus. And there's no cage. Like, there's no ultimates for this too. Arth is a good pick versus Maiev. He's okay. Like, if they're both standing on top of each other 1v1, then he'll win. But if he gets isolated or ganked or something, then the Maiev can always tether him, and he can't do anything about that. He has no counterplay to it. It's not like a counter pick. Yeah, I just feel like Tempo's missed a ton of opportunities and just sat there and let Team Liquid do whatever they want, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, they're ultra down because they tried to take a team fight on top of the robot, on top of the Tree Glove. If we go back to, like, here. Where they're down 16 too. I mean, Fan finds an okay engage, but there's no follow-up yet. Yeah, Malthael's not in range, Raynor's not in range, Stukov has no spells. Because theoretically, if you get this kind of engage, and there's a Stukov silence here, then that could maybe work, because then Leeming can't blink out, at least until the Tree Glove walks through the cage. But that's the other thing too, is when there's a Tree Glove, it can just walk into the cage walls and break them all. And then it does nothing. Then the heroes just walk out. Only the best 3 teams in the world. That's what I think. I think this game is not very competitive because there's not very much money in the scene. So not many players are trying super hard in the game. So not many teams have actually reached a level that I would consider good. He wasted that ult. I mean, if you're going to try for the engage, then you do use everything, but I don't think the engage is good. I think that's the problem here, is that you're engaging into a Tree Glove that gives everybody a gigantic shield and can break all your walls, and then you're also down a talent tier, and also nobody was in range to follow up. NA needs better sponsorship? I mean, I guess, if anyone actually wants to sponsor HOTS right now in NA. Yeah, then he did waste it. He pressed R and it didn't get any value, because Leeming just blinked out anyway. And yeah, if he did have the cage for here, for this engage down here, then things would have been a lot better, because he tethers them back in, cages them on top of the silence field, and then targets should be swapped onto these by the Malthael. Wait, Phoenix even... Like, how does Phoenix walk into an Uther? How does that even happen? I mean, because it seemed like he was the one calling the engage. It's not like someone else on the team was calling for that engage. It was Maiev was calling for that engage, called to get a D shield, and went in on that. And then it wasn't successful because everything else was not good conditions for that engage. How much does it cost to sponsor a team? It's like 1,000 a month for a team in NA. And you could probably go lower for any of the lower teams. That's it. There's no other stuff. It's just 1,000 a month. For per player. So 60K a year. So I mean, someone wanted to know like what were Team Liquid's mistakes in this game. I think there's probably nothing they could have done better here when Tempo Storm invaded their turret camp. They just weren't fast enough on the rotation. But here they should not have invaded this turret camp when Tempo was level 10, because they had no answer to the Stukov silence, and then they didn't even play the fight very well when Phoenix got caught and they got stuck in a Maiev cage on top of the silence field. And then here, I don't know if they could have done something better on this engage here when they used all their ult the first time, but then they shouldn't have been posturing around this health pack while they were down ultimates, and it favored Tempo Storm. Like, I think you should realize after this fight here that you shouldn't be taking fights on these points, and you should be taking fights on the Trigolov capture points. Yeah, I mean, you're paying less because there's less viewership and less other stuff. So now Team Liquid's back to being 2 levels ahead. Up a health pack and maybe a turret. Yeah, a turret. And they have a keep advantage, so they're a catapult split pushing. And they're going to have a 20 timing for the bottom cap, so unless Tempo Storm YOLO something... Oh, Rainer died. So Tempo Storm's trying to YOLO something, but Rainer gets rooted into... Okay. I mean, there could have been a cleanse or a D-shield there, but Cattle's not a support player. It doesn't matter. Alright. There's a pretty good engage. But they're too far behind, and they don't have a Rainer. So, I mean, Maiev goes in and gets a 4-man tether here. The Stukov silence is pretty late. That is one issue here, where Li Ming and Phoenix both get to blink out before the Stukov silence comes down. And those would have been the 2 best targets. EU pays more if you're sponsored? Yeah, they've got bigger orgs in the scene with Fnatic and Team Liquid and Dignitas. It's just nobody on Tempo Storm does any damage now that they're so far behind. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a big issue with the game is that when new players come to play the game, the first thing they play is Quick Match. And Quick Match is a completely different game than Hero League or competitive. You're just not even playing the same game when the team comps don't have a tank or don't have a support or don't have an offlaner. You're just completely you're not playing the same game. Like, why did Chromie get nerfed? She got nerfed because people in Quick Match get poked out by her. And then there's no support to heal up the poke. Whereas in competitive, Chromie's unplayable because the supports just heal the poke. Yeah, I mean, the game has a casual player base, but part of that issue... A big part of the reason that it's a casual player base is because Blizzard marketed it as a casual game. They never marketed it as a competitive game. Yeah. The game could have been marketed as a competitive game in 2015, 2016, but they just didn't. I think part of the reason why people are more competitive in League of Legends and Dota is also because the games have been around a lot longer. Hard to balance because multiple modes of play. I mean, the modes of play should be the same. I don't know. If you have to change the balance of the game because Quick Match is such a mess, then you should fix Quick Match rather than change the heroes. The game wasn't ready? No, I just think they marketed it badly and didn't put enough resources into it. I think the game, as in like actually in the game stuff, was fine. Yeah, when you do quick play in League, you still play top lane, mid lane, and bottom lane. You do quick play in HOTS, and you just have a 5-man mid. And there's no support. It's like going into League quick play, quick match, and you don't have a jungler. It would just be insane. It just does not happen. The game is literally designed around both teams having a jungler. HOTS is designed around both teams having a support. That is just the game. Playing the game without that is playing a different game. So we're on D-Shire. First pick Garrosh. Toronto's banned. Maiev is still up, which is pretty insane. That Maiev goes this far in. Yeah, I mean, the other thing, too, is you can't actually balance a game for casuals, because casuals will always find something that is too effective for how little input you need for it. Or is too effective against weak players, and stuff like that. Like, you're never going to balance the game for casual players. That just doesn't exist. If you want to balance the game for casual players, then everyone just has 10 HP and has 1 damage auto attacks, and has no abilities. I mean, I don't know. You have to go talk to... I mean, that's fine if they want to attract a casual player base, but then they're also trying to make it a competitive game with HGC, and they're putting a lot of money into it. Yeah, I mean, specialists all get put in the dumpster because they're too effective against bad players that never respond to the split push or punish them for overextending. And they're too good in quick match because they just get to split push forever, and the enemy team doesn't have a real composition that can do anything. Yeah, obviously it's impossible to balance the game to make more than 20 heroes competitive at a time. But I mean, that's an issue with the education for the player base, Micro, is that people should come into the game, people should come out of the tutorial understanding what experience is, and how to use it, at least a general understanding of you should go to where the minions are dying, so that your team gets experience. That should just be a thing. You should know that having 5 heroes sit mid the entire game is a bad thing, and is not correct. Just like having 5 heroes sit mid in League of Legends is not correct and is a bad thing. But the tutorial doesn't do that, and there's no education, so people just come into the game and they're doing whatever. And I mean, that's fine if you're just doing whatever, but then those people that are doing that just go into Hero League, and then people doing that have no comprehension of how to play the game get into Masters, and it's just ridiculous at that point. So Tempo Storm doing the last pick Sergeant Hammer when there's no counters to her. So the only thing Liquid can basically do against the Sergeant Hammer is Maiev E's on top of her and tethers her, and then during the tether, Sergeant Hammer can't sprint away, and then during that time, Garrosh walks up, and then somehow gets in range of Hammer to do stuff to her, without Hammer using Unstoppable or knocking him away, or doing anything. But again, Team Liquid does have the Maiev advantage, which means that they're going to clear mid ahead every single time. Nothing Tempo Storm can do about it. Arthas is just going to sit there and catch the minions. And then they're going to be able to rotate. So Tempo Storm has to just play around their Sergeant Hammer advantage and maybe their global advantage in the top lane. And just have someone sit mid for the early game, not doing anything. Maybe it might be Raynor sitting mid, and then Hammer with a tank and support. Tron was banned? Yeah, Tron was banned. Sure. So I do feel like Liquid got a lot of priority heroes here. Because they got the Maiev and the Garrosh. They still got a top tier offlaner, and they got a top tier support. The only role they had to sacrifice on a little bit was Tychus, but Tychus is still good for killing people through armor and killing the tanks. He's like a kind of a Raynor with shorter range. Yeah, I mean, there's so much they could do to improve quick match, but they've done nothing. They've just let it sit as it is, the same as it was 2 years ago. I'm surprised Tempo Storm is even 5-man mid here, because they're not going to do anything. All that's going to happen here when they're 5-man mid is the wave is still going to get cleared. Or it should. Alright, Team Liquid ate too much damage. So if Team Liquid was smart, they wouldn't walk into the hammer and try and do stuff to her before the wave shows up. They would just use their Maya V, which is their biggest wave clear tool. If Team Liquid is smart, they would just sit out of the hammer's range, not eat any damage for free. They would walk up to here where hammer isn't sieged. Maiev would press E on the wave, press Q on the wave, Tychus would throw a grenade on the wave, and then it would be cleared. And then Tempo Storm would be stuck sitting here with 5 heroes, and then Team Liquid would go to their lanes, go to the side lanes, and then suddenly Tempo's stuck mid with 5 heroes, and they can't rotate through the fast rotate. Sure, you could add in that kind of stuff to a tutorial to teach people how to play against certain heroes or something. There's a ton of stuff they could do if they put in the development time and stuff. But instead what happens is somehow a team comp that has Tychus, Irel, and Maiev gets out-wave cleared by Sergeant Hammer, Rain, or Dahaka, and now the Sergeant Hammer gets to rotate here while heroes are stuck catching mid for Team Liquid. Okay. Hammer's down to sprint, which is a pretty big cooldown before she gets unstoppable. It's actually possible for Team Liquid to engage on her if she overextends, trying to hit a wall. I don't know why Tempo is, I guess they're getting the wave clear advantage while Team Liquid's doing camp. So that's fine. But I don't know why Team Liquid doesn't have a 3-man mid. Just leave your Tychus bottom, have your Maiev, Garrosh, and Deckard be mid, and then rotate. Alright, so this is the thing. So when Dignitas did this, they cleared mid, went into fog, the enemy team had to play passively because they didn't know where the Maiev was, and then they got the free night camp. Team Liquid, they went and did this camp, let the enemy team push the mid wave into them, then did this camp while someone on their own team was catching it. Enemy team got to push up and get capture points and stuff, and take a camp out. And then when they take out this camp, Dignitas cleared out this mid wave first before going to push with this camp. Team Liquid is already up here, and they've got nobody soaking mid. And look at all this time Maev's wasting. That's 5 seconds. She could have cleared the wave in that time. What are you doing, Maev? You could have cleared the wave mid before coming up here to push. Now, like, Garrosh has to go catch the mid soak, and they don't even... Like, Garrosh could be top here, or bottom here defending this hammer, while they push mid here. But instead there's just this wave that's here that hasn't been cleared, because Maev didn't go there. Tempo, again, is really slow to rotate to this, though, too. Where the night camp gets capped now, and you should know that you need more than Dahaka to defend the night camp. Even just 1v1, Irel versus Dahaka, Irel will get most of the wall. You need to have another hero up there defending that, and they instead look to rotate bottom or something. Now Raynor finally reacts while Team Liquid is at their wall. So the wall's already gone by the time Raynor gets here. Bigger they are, Tychus, sure. Alright, so Team Liquid got a free top wall. And they finally put together their 3 or 4-man rotation. That should be a dead Arthas. Okay, I mean... Just Maiev E's in, tethers him. I mean, this is what Maiev could have been doing in the last game, too. Arthas is by himself, you E in, you tether him, your team follows up, he dies. There's nothing he can do about the tether. He just gets pulled in and CC'd, and then he should die. And I mean, if you aren't able to do that, to punish the Arthas when he's isolated like that, then that's an issue with your comp. And that's an issue with, say, for example, the main tank Uther, where the main tank Uther doesn't do anything to help the Maiev engage, other than D-shield. And now off of that kill, Team Liquid gets control of both points. Let's see how they do that, actually, right after the kill. So they get the kill, the wave is cleared, the Haka used dig. So now Irel is already winning top, so they know that Irel can hold top. Especially with the Haka here, they know that there's no way Irel loses control of this point. So they 4-man rotate bottom, they push them off this point and get the cap. Maiev kind of follows the Haka because she saw Raynor up here, so it could be a 2v1 if she's not there. And then she stays in fog, they get this cap. Tychus is going to hold it 1v1 against Hammer. They see Malf and Raynor mid. They're going to kill Raynor, and they're going to get the DK. Irel is 1v1 into Haka. She can't win that. Oh, they don't even kill Raynor? What are they doing? Kill the Raynor first. What are you doing? Kill him. Hit the Deckard combo on the Raynor. What is happening? Alright, Team Liquid messed this up really badly, and they might not even get DK because of that. So, Raynor gets walked up to by a Garrosh, and Maiev tethered. And body blocked. So now he's tethered, and then Deckard misses the combo completely. Garrosh is trying to cap instead of hitting the Raynor and killing him. And then Arthas shows up. And their side lanes are winning the 1v1s, but they just lost the 3v2, 3v1 mid. But they still have the collapse. And that's the other advantage too, is while you have this DK pressure and the side laners are trying to get the cap back from you in the 1v1s, you have the freedom to rotate to mid still and collapse mid, though this should still be called. Like, Hammer should say, I just got the bottom cap against Tychus, this shouldn't happen. Or at least shouldn't have been this easy, he should still be here hitting me. So he shows up and now Cattle should be dead. Oh, or not. Because Irel shows up too, and Irel should never be leaving top unless she's going to rotate. The Haka should never be able to walk onto this cap for free and just start capping it. Is there no Maiev tether here? Yeah, it's on cooldown. Alright, I guess they don't kill him. Well, there goes Team Liquid's entire advantage that they got from that pickoff. Because they misplayed the fight mid. There's still no way for Tempo Storm to get the cap back because Team Liquid just rotates while the wave is pushing in though. Maiev is dying. Alright. That's really bad for Team Liquid actually. They might actually lose this DK now. No, Irel's on point in time. Or not. Alright. Team Liquid should never have lost a DK, especially in the early game. When Irel wins the 1v against Haka, and they should have the winning 3v3 mid. And bottom should be pretty even. Not with Hover Siege. With Hover Siege now, Hammer should win the bottom lane. Probably. Tychus can kind of poke with grenades, but it's really hard for him to get control of the point, because Hammer can just stack her mines in the bush, so that Tychus can never actually step towards the point. If Tychus already has control of the point, then it's really hard for Hammer to step onto the point, because it's so close to the bushes, but if Hammer has control of it, then Tychus can't get back control. And they're ganking top while a DK is pushing, and they don't even succeed at the gank, really? Maiev even gets the tether down, I think. Or she doesn't? I'm so confused. Yeah, Maiev gets the tether down and Garrosh just dismounts himself to Q. I don't know. Alright, maybe they'd have collapsed bottom. Nope. Alright, they're gonna force this night camp with the Maiev clear. Tempo didn't manage to finish off this fort, which sucks, because then they would be ahead by a half level at least. But they should be able to get it eventually. Hammer can defend this night camp really easily, so it's not going to get much value, especially with the siege camp here to defend it. But this is kind of a trade of the night camp for the siege camp, which means that Liquid will have the siege camp advantage bottom at some point. So now Maev will go solo their Night Camp and get it out in time to defend against tempos. Arel is even coming over to help. And now Arel should be able to defend this 1v1 against Dahaka, especially with the better Night Camp timing. Or she can come down here and try and go for an engage to punish Hammer for trying to destroy this fort. So that's what they're going for. Is they know Hammer will be up here trying to kill the fort. They're going for a flank. That's all you need to do is tether one person. You don't need to go for a 4-man tether to win a fight. Though I'm really surprised that Raynor didn't die there. Did the Garrosh taunt just not hit him? How does that not just kill the Raynor? He gets tethered and pulled in. Garrosh throws him and taunts him. And then he doesn't die. Nobody auto-attacks him or something. I don't know how Raynor doesn't die there. Raynor should be dead there, 100%. 25 armor? I don't know. Well, I guess they lose the fight now. Now that they used all their cooldowns and didn't get a kill. Now the Arthas just runs at them. Because the Hawk is not even here for most of the engage, because he just starts his dig now. Like, this is just a 5v4 where they get on Raynor, and he doesn't die. That's insane. The Tornado is also terrible. Like, this is, again, where there's a 2-second taunt, and the Tornado is over here, instead of just directly on top of the Raynor. I don't know. And that's might be a DK. Looks like Tempo's rotating up to top lane to stop Arel from 1v1ing. Yeah. So Arthas and Raynor are going to rotate up there to threaten the Arel, so she can't get on top. Not enough time to get on bottom because the wave's too pushed up. So Team Liquid is trying to take an engage. Nope. Alright. Sure. Tychus pressed R after the Raynor was already out. Alright, so that's another DK, sieging with the Hover Siege Sergeant Hammer. That's really strange. That could have been an engage on Hammer there, with this Maevi. That could have been a tether and an engage. Definitely risky, because you aren't sure where the enemy team is, and Arel's not there, so probably not a great engage. Or at least really risky. With the way that Tempo Storm was positioning, it would have worked, but you don't know, because your E doesn't give enough vision. Alright, they're looking to follow up off of the stasis on Hammer. There's the Unstoppable to negate the Deckard combo, and the Tornado, even if it was hitting Hammer, and your engage just failed. Though it does buy you a lot of damage on the DK, so not awful. Tempo going to try and siege with this camp, bottom lane. And they're even, for some reason, Raynor's the one checking this camp, which is really weird. But they got it together. Are you going to fight this Tempo? Do you have the Haka dig? They could have fought that. Because the thing is, like, I guess Team Liquid can kill Arthas with the Tychus. Alright, so they don't invade. They don't call for the Dahaka dig yet. He's going to get some split soak value, and they're going to start sieging bottom with the camp, while they still have a 13 advantage. This game was thrown by one person almost single-handedly. Oh wow, I can't wait to see that. And now they see Arel top. So Tempo sees Arel top, they should be pushing this still. Because they know that this is a 5v4. And now with Maev chunked out again, they should still be pushing up, because Maev is half HP. Now she has a tap running. And stasis miss. Well, that's fine. Tempo got some split soak value out of Dahaka. Okay. Ally toss him out. Garrosh doesn't have self-unstoppable though. But everyone else got Larnated away. Alright. So Liquid went for something, because they suspected... Did they know that Tempo was on this? No. Not for sure. But they suspected the Tempo Storm was on this night camp, because otherwise Tempo Storm would be rotating all the way to this night camp. So they said, okay, either we're going to go down to this night camp, if they're not here, we'll take it. If they are here, we'll look for a flank on them. And they don't find it. Tempo Storm has a bunch of knockbacks and other ways to mess with Garrosh, and then everybody disengages. But the Taka Dig is down, which is decent. Alright, and with the Haka Dig down, Tempo doesn't want to risk anything, so they're going to 5-man push bottom with the Night Camp. So that's fine. After Rel caps this, she has to back to defend. Yep, she was channeling her back during the cap. And they're even going to use Odin during the Night Camp to clear it out. And they got on... Raynor dies this time, right? Okay. You can't just have Raynor be, like... So it's a Garrosh Q that then sets up for a Deckard combo with a good Tornado this time. Really good Tornado. And then they've actually killed a Raynor. So, I mean... After you get hit by the Garrosh Q, that initial slow right there, you can't dodge anything else after that point. So it's just chain CC the entire time. And especially against the wall there, you can't even dodge the combo even if you got cleansed by Malf. Nice stasis. Hammer should be down her sprint right now too, so she's going to get tethered on top of a bunch of CC. This Night Camp might be getting some damage, but this Night Camp is getting even more damage. The Haka did dig top, so that delays the DK at least, and if Team Liquid messes up again, they might not get it, but they should just get it. Okay, they get the DK, top fort dies to the minions, and now Liquid is ahead again. Game of throws. Alright, sir. Does Hammer not have Unstoppable here? Okay, it is a pretty long cooldown, so I guess it's down still. Malf cleanses the root though, so Hammer gets the sprint out. And Garrosh wasn't even looking to follow up on this. Oh no, he was. He just wasn't quite in range. Alright, so they trade these forts out. So Liquid's not even going to be ahead off of this because of the Dahaka value. Alright, they go for a dig engage, but gets disengaged. Maev's pretty tanky. Can I go back to what? Hammer used it, but Garrosh Q hit through it or something? It's probably because she started sprinting, which removes the Unstoppable. And now here, Liquid is down Odin, they're down Maev Stasis, and they're down Garrosh Ally Toss for the Haka ISO. And Tempo's looking for a fight here. The last time they were scared of this fight, but this time they get a nice tongue. And then there's a Tornado, which should just stop everything. Alright then. The Haka Dig should be back up. Actually, 10 seconds before it's back up. Oh, he's just dead. How does that happen? He's soaking mid. Sure. And then he's rotating bottom to his team. Sure. And then he decides, nah, I'm going back mid. And then he dies, because there's a Garrosh there. Okay. I feel like Maev's E was coming close to off cooldown. She could have E'd forward and then ulted that hammer, but sure. And they're invading this camp instead of pushing bottom with Odin that's off cooldown soon. They don't even have Tychus. This is a 4v4. Tempo can win this without Tychus being here. Arthas is unkillable. Alright then. Interesting decision making from Team Liquid here, trying to invade this night camp with their Dahaka kill instead of push bottom. Sure. And then he digs into this night camp immediately after he respawns. Liquid won't know that it's on cooldown, but Tempo still probably won't play risky with dig on cooldown. They're just going to 5-man bottom now. Yep, and again, Team Liquid should have a night camp advantage top. Hammer does have Giant Killer now, which gives her significantly more damage. And this keep is looking pretty dead. Never mind. Odin and Maiev are specialists. Oh, this time... Alright. I mean, here's the thing. If you are near your Hammer or your Raynor, if the Garrosh tries to go on you, they can knock him back and stop him. But if you're not, and you're over here, in this corner, then the Garrosh will just walk up to you for free. And your Raynor won't even Q him when you burrow. And then you used your burrow already, so you can't even burrow now. Okay. Because here's the thing. Hammer has a gigantic cone that just does a big knockback, so Garrosh can't do anything. But if you don't stand near the Hammer, then you don't have that big knockback. And then you die. And now your Arthas is getting chased down by an Arel with jump resets. Deckard combo misses, but that's a DK, and with that DK, with the keep already exposed, and the level 20 Odin coming up soon-ish. Hammer's at a pretty weird angle here too. She's not pressuring the DK at all, which I think is what Hammer should be doing rather than pressuring the heroes that Deckard can heal for free. And Team Liquid is backing up. Why? You have a level 20 Odin coming up in a second. Are they just backing up for the Odin cooldown? And to heal back to full? Okay. Fine. Fine then, Team Liquid. You're playing very conservatively, but I'll accept it. That was an interesting isolation there. Was that looking at the Maievi? It wouldn't have even been timed right if it was looking at the Maievi. But your core is dead now, Tempo Storm, because your Hammer has not hit the DK once. Should have taken Tunneling Claws? I don't know. He shouldn't have walked into Garrosh. Using Hammer to push was a throw? No. I mean, Team Liquid has no way to deal with Hammer. Like, literally, Tempo, you got one job, alright? Let's go back to this. You got one job. Here's the Hammer. Here's the building. Hammer is hitting the building. Everyone else, just go AFK. Hands off the keyboard. Just literally stand here. Just, like, have a nice square right here. And just go AFK, and then you're fine. Then you just get the keep. Like, maybe you kite back a bit while the Odin's up, but then you get the keep. Like, there, you kite back, wait for the Odin out, walk back up, you get the keep. 100%. Just don't do that. And that's something that my team does on Octalysis, too, in playoffs. It happened a bunch against Team Freedom, where we had Hammer, and then we just did random dumb stuff and got engaged on for no reason. Instead of just going AFK and letting the Hammer win the game for free. Yeah, I guess you're stalker slash troller, Mr. Slack TV. He has been timed out. Yeah, Gloud, pretty much. And then that's level 20 DK plus Odin. Sure. Alright. Second stream. Let me refresh this so I get... Oh, I get video preview anyway. Nice. Let me eat something quickly, though. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nobody saw what he said anyway. Yeah. Glaurung's fall from grace. Takes a while for people, for Twitch chat to catch on, but eventually they start seeing the patterns. Am I the shot caller for my team? Not really. I mean, I guess I would say that Justing, for Octalysis, Justing was the primary shot caller, and I was like a secondary shot caller. Yeah, Glau's not a solo laner. And this hero pool for the solo lane is also not that good. I mean, I guess, like, the hero pool that you need to play for the solo lane is 4 heroes anyway, but I don't know. Any of the more niche solo lane heroes he doesn't play, too, so. Like, you can put him on Blaze, or Aurel, or Dahaka, or Malthael, but after that, I don't know. Leoric? I guess Leoric, sure. Nice, we get to listen to sounds. Yeah, there are changes happening within Oct. I don't know when an announcement will get made, at what point. Probably around the roster change time, which is pretty soon anyway. Alright, finally get some sound out of my headphones, rather than hearing my own voice. Actually kind of like gives you a headache after a while or something. Yeah, you could call it the roster apocalypse, I guess, if you really wanted to. Oh, this is Luna Meow vs. Miracle. Alright, let's speed this one up. Diablo Garrosh, neat. Towers of Doom, Hanzo priority for some reason, which is strange. I mean, he's fine against Garrosh, he outranges all of Garrosh's stuff, but he's not... He can't disrupt the Garrosh like a Leeming can, or a Rainer can, to peel for his teammates. And there's a Kerrigan. Alright, I feel like that's just a disrespect Kerrigan. I feel like there's no way you actually pick Kerrigan into a Diablo team, because the Diablo will just kill you every time with the rest of his team, and you can't get past him. But they're probably just going to run them over, is what I expect. Also, is the quality really low? It is. There we go. Bakery reckons up to 20 player retirements. Is that, like, globally for all 4 regions, or just for NA? What specifically 20 player retirements? He said less than 20. It'll be 20 if he pays money. Global? I mean, that's pretty reasonable, honestly. I mean, are you counting the ones that are already announced? Like Jhin retiring and stuff like that? Or are you counting ones that aren't even public yet? And then are you counting ones that are like Simplicity already got knocked out and they retire? He'd pay money if it was more than 20? I'd take him on that bet. How much does he want to bet? So, like, not counting Arthalon or Psalm, but counting like, King Caffeine or something like that. And counting, like, JPL. Those count. I would take that bet with him. $100? Oh, that's a lot of pizza. That's a lot of pizza. I don't know if I can bet $100 on that, though. I'm not that confident. I'd have to... Hold on. I will look into some details privately, and then do some calculations. I may or may not want to take him up on that bet. I'm not going to commit to anything yet. $100 is a lot. I make some peanuts over here playing HGC. He gets paid a lot more being sponsored by Dignitas. Bakery's practicing tank now for some weird reason. Wow. I wonder what he would be doing that for. That's interesting. Surprised that Diablo went Spell Shield here. It's only really good against Kerrigan, and only good against half of her damage. I'd say half her damage is spells, half her damage is auto attacks. Maybe a little bit more, maybe like 60-40. Hold on a second. Okay. Thanks for that, PM. Aren't his arms still turbo fucked up? That is an interesting term for it. So there's Kerrigan wave clearing pretty instantaneously. That is one thing she's really good at. Alright, now she is offlaning. Okay, so it's just an offlane Kerrigan. Sure. Will I predict tomorrow's games? Sure, after we finish the analysis. Bakery trolled Reddit by implying he's going to tank. So, Luna Meow is letting Li Ming catch the wave, whereas Miracle cleared the wave before coming in, and they're going for this invade. And they have the out-rotate from Kerrigan over Blaze, and they also just walked into the Diablo and took away all his HP. So Diablo escapes here and doesn't die, but it's still a really good trade. Because if you look at here, so basically what's happening is Diablo's here. He's not even mounted up in the bush. So as soon as Garrosh starts running towards him, Diablo has no way to get out unless he queues to this, which he probably should, to be honest. He scouts that Miracle's invading, he queues out, disengages, let Li Ming catch the wave, and then let Blaze have the time to rotate down. That's good. What's bad is you stand there in the bush, you're not even mounted so you can't run away, then you let yourself get flipped in, and this entire time, as he's flipped in and everything, the rest of his team's not able to do anything, because this is where the fight is, this is where his team is doing the camp, and this is where Li Ming is clearing the wave. So this is just a 3v1 where they're all doing free DPS and Diablo's just tanking it, phase tanking it. So by the time any kind of an actual 3v3, 4v4 is possible, Diablo's already almost dead, so this camp is gone. With or without the Kerrigan rotation. And Luna Meow doesn't even aggro the camp to pull it over here, because that's something you can do, is when this camp is capped, right here, if you have a hero here within range of it, it'll aggro on that person. You can pull it all the way over to here. And unless the enemy team really stays here to make sure you don't do that, you can just do that. And Miracle doesn't stay here, so Hanzo could very easily have pulled this whole camp. And he only pulls one minion, and doesn't even pull it, which is bad. Yeah, Hanzo aggro's one, he could have aggroed the entire camp and just pulled it over here. Because the camp doesn't do damage to heroes, because it has the stupid auto attack on the ground that you can just dodge the entire time. So if Hanzo pulls the entire camp into this choke point, he clears it for free, and it doesn't do any damage. But instead, he doesn't aggro any of them. And then there goes half your wall. And now half your wall's gone, and the other half's going to be gone now. Unless Blaze comes here and invades. They see Blaze mid, so Miracle knows that this is possible, but they're way too slow. Okay, that's an early Spell Shield activation, and the Li Ming combo misses. And the Blaze charge is blocked. Does Garrosh really still die here? That's hilarious. I mean, this is so disrespectful by Garrosh. Just being so far up like this. So much misses, and he still dies. But that's just disrespecting the 5v4, because Kerrigan stopped. Kerrigan just wanted to clear this wave, Blaze missed this entire wave, and Kerrigan gets this camp for free if they just back off and don't stand so far forward. Because they already had the camp almost cleared. And, like, either you start calling your Kerrigan to come down so that you can actually fight that, or you just say, if they show up in time, then they're going to steal the camp, just like what we did to them. Because with that death, that means that this camp that they got doesn't even do anything anyway. Kerrigan should win this 1v1, right? Yeah. Blaze has no attack damage. Okay. It is really weird to me that people actually take damage from this camp, though. If we go back to, like, here... Oh, no, she's full HP. Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, it isn't until Blaze shows up that she takes damage. Okay, good. And she pushes it in, so that's a half-level lead off of the Blaze rotating down. Here's a... Okay. Rainer says you have no cooldowns, I'm just gonna fight you. But you can see how aggressively Diablo's blowing his spell shield, because it's such a low cooldown. It's not like a Garrosh Unstoppable or something that actually matters. Alright, at least their backline is stepping up with the Diablo this time, and they have the Blaze out rotate. But he blows all his cooldowns and doesn't get anything. Now they're going on Garrosh. No follow-up on that. Nice. You can really see where the CC happens and there's no damage every single time. Look at that. CC, no follow-up. Okay. Garrosh's turn. CC, have a Hanzo auto attack and a Li Ming Q. Nice. 45 seconds, but reduced every single time you do damage to an enemy hero. And your W, Diablo's W is 5 separate things. So if your W is in melee of somebody, you get 5 seconds cooldown reduction. So it's really short cooldown. And there's nobody even trying to zone the Garrosh. He's just walking up and queuing for free. Hanzo needs to just be attack moving into the Garrosh if they want to actually cap this. Otherwise, it's not going to be capped. And now their 5v4 is gone. Because they had a 5v4 here for a long time. If you go back. They're 5v4 here for at least 10 or 15 seconds. And they do nothing with it. And now Kerrigan's here. Yeah, it is kind of broken. Time to watch Kerrigan get squashed by a Diablo. Imagine if Diablo had Lightning Breath. How absolutely wrecked Miracle would be. Well, it's a good thing that the Li Ming reset did nothing. So there, Li Ming gets the reset, and then she gets a rotation on Raynor. That's okay. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Good job, Luna Meow. You won the objective. And you caught up in experience. I mean, you win the objective if you... Alright, so here's the thing. Hanzo goes to tap right now. And Li Ming walks up for a globe, and then mounts up, and then goes to tap. So that means that this entire time, this is actually just a 3v3. So they're not actually going to get this cap now. And now that 2 more people are going to tap, what is happening? So it's just a 3v3 this entire time. And now it's a 4v3 for the next 3 seconds until Kerrigan comes here. I don't know why I'm wasting so much time on this, honestly. I mean, I'm waiting for them to get snowballed on, which hasn't happened yet, I guess. Diablo's pretty split here. Not that split. Li Ming's in range. Oh. The classic Garrosh walk up and throw the Deckard. Wow, there it is. There it is. Oh, the classic gangbang the Kerrigan, but she gets ally thrown out. There it is. But Malf can heal a lot more than Deckard can. And Miracle still has taps, and Luna Meow only has tap on Diablo. No tap on Blaze. Alright then. I mean, good job by Garrosh walking up to the Deckard and pressing E. Great job there. I mean, I don't know. Play has been made. He could even walk into that Diablo and throw him if he wanted to. Or just attack move into the Hanzo. Sure. Just attack move into the... Good job, Raynor. Nice attack move. Good job. That's some good stuff right there. And there you go. It's amazing. Wow. Good job, Miracle. You pressed your buttons. You pressed your buttons and they died. And now the game ends. Alright, cool. Let's speed this up. Kerrigan actually does look pretty terrible. She's too squishy for competitive, even though her wave clear's insane. She just seems so useless in team fights. Oh, okay, sure. T-Tours in the chat. Oh, the classic Garrosh walks into your backline and taunts 2 people. Damn, this hero has no counterplay. Why are they at BlizzCon? Because, I don't know. Ask Blizzard. It is very high priority that minor regions get to attend BlizzCon without having any competition for that spot. Alright. Half of that game was just on that bottom cap that got delayed forever. Marketing is why? Sure. Yeah, I mean, how is this? How does this make the game look good? I don't know. Just watching one team stomp on the other. Like this is one pro team versus one amateur team. What do you expect? Nobody's entertained by this, really. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a few people are entertained, but a very small percentage of people actually watching are entertained by that. And these teams never make it to the playoff stage either, which is the actual BlizzCon stage. Yeah, I mean, it's not the minor region's fault, but I feel like there should be some more competition. There should be like an even earlier group stage where third place or fourth place from the major regions compete against the minor regions for the spot. Something. Or the minor regions compete with some of the major regions in their playoffs. Alright, map hacks have been enabled by Miracle. Good job. You picked the OP hero. Surprised that Li Ming's not picked. Or no, it's against Diablo, so they don't want to pick Li Ming. Kerrigan banned. That's hilarious, because the Kerrigan did nothing in that last game. Alright, so that's pretty good by Luna Meow. Getting the Diablo secures them with Li Ming. But they also have this random offlane thrall. Alright. Yeah, but the North America and Chinese teams can actually take games off of these other teams. From Europe and Korea. Like these teams, they don't take a single game, unless the major teams that they're going against just full on troll. Yeah, in League, what they have is in League what they have is all of the lower seed teams, a bunch of lower seed teams from the major regions compete against the minor region teams to see who goes into the group stage of League of Legends Worlds. Yeah, they only get their top finisher to go, but their top finisher isn't competitive anyway. I mean, this is the minor region's top finisher, and they just got 10-minute gamed. Gen G dropped some games against two minor region teams. Can they? Where's Tempo Storm's games? Heroes Hearth took game off of Leftovers, or 2 games off of them. I mean, I'm not expecting the teams from NA to take teams off of the top teams. I'm not expecting Tempo or Heroes Hearth to take games off of Gen G or Dignitas. But I can expect them to take games off of 2nd or 3rd seed from those regions, which is at least competitive. Like, this team is not taking a single game off Leftovers. This team is not taking a single game off of the One. This team is not taking a single game off Liquid. Is Phoenix gonna get himself killed again? No. Surprised that Hammer has taken 0 poke from a Thrall Li Ming. I don't know how Hammer's full HP right now. That's insane. I mean, I'd rather... Like, let me pull up the groups right now. What I would rather see when I look at the groups is this being an NA team that's like 1-5 or 2-4. And this being a Chinese team that's still 0-6. And I would rather see this be a European 4th place team that's 2-4 or something. Or a Korean 4th place team that's 2-4 or something. Or maybe 1-5. Something like that. That's what I'd like to see. I would not like to see that every single time that a minor region goes to one of these events, it is just guaranteed 0-6, 0-8. That is boring, that is a waste of time. I should not look at a group before the games have started and just say, this team is 0-8. Every single team that plays against it, free 2-0 wins. Every single other team in the group against this team has 2 wins guaranteed. Mind Freak have won maps in the past. I mean, single maps. They've won 1-7 instead of 0-8. I mean, it's just impossible for these teams to be competitive with the major region teams because they don't have the same stuff. Yeah, imagine Fnatic instead of Luna Meow.